Hey everybody, and welcome to my new playthrough of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles. This week marks 5 years since I made my very first commentated playthrough on this channel, which just so happened to be a video of this game. So I thought, to honor that, I'm gonna come back and give this game another playthrough to see how much I've learned in my 5 years of making videos. A couple disclaimers before we get started. First of all, I am playing a ROM hack for this game called Sonic 3 Complete. It'll make a couple of minor changes to the game going forward and one pretty major one, but aside from that, this is the same game as Sonic 3 and Knuckles on the Genesis that we all know and love. Secondly, I'm still not doing the special stages. I just don't find them to be that much fun personally. Yes, because I'm bad at them. So we're gonna be skipping that, but I'm still gonna show the good ending anyway, because I like cheating. I'm gonna get started here right away with a little fun fact. This file select screen in the standalone cartridge for Sonic 3, the first half of the game, has a weird bug. If you wait around on the screen for 47 minutes, one of the faint bell instruments in the music starts playing 12 times louder for no reason. It's pretty funny, I gotta be honest. Alright, that's all I had to say about the file select screen. Now let's get off this boring screen and get started with the game. No save is needed. Get out of here, Tails. Oh god. Tails decided to take me to the island anyway to make me feel awkward. I'm sorry, Tails, I will never insult you again. Don't look at me, Sonic. You're the one who got the Chaos Emeralds knocked out of him in super form. I didn't even know that was possible. Welcome to Angel Island Zone Act 1, the first of many oh my god, that's a great start. First of many stages to explore. Gotta run to the end as quick as you can, collecting rings and killing baddies along the way. If you were to get hit by an enemy or a hazard, as you just saw, you drop all your rings on hand. Get hit again without any rings in possession, you're done. It's a nice little health system. It doesn't make you, like, have to get good at combat or avoiding hazards that much. Just makes you get good at avoiding them so you can keep your momentum. I quite like it. A boss fight already? Man, I thought Dark Souls was freaking quick with boss fights, but... Cool, I guess this is our first level aesthetic now. I like this change-up. It's not a generic green place. Why am I going down? I didn't mean to go down. Just all my momentum stopped when I hit that wall for some reason, so we're going down, I guess. But yes, a big badnik there lights the entire jungle on fire, and things are just fine, apparently. The music is no different. The fire poses no threat to you. It's interesting, though. I like the visual design. Get through this loop. Bounce past all the rings that I don't need all of. You do get an extra life if you collect 100 of them, but you shouldn't need that. On to the end of the level, and, oh, just 1 second. This guy's trying to keep the end from us. Just, give me 2 seconds, and there we go. Now that's the end of the level. After defeating the extremely lame boss, the goalpost comes down from the heavens to reward you for your bravery and courage and all that shit. That's level 1. Very short and simple, but that's what you expect out of a Sonic game. To have the first level short and simple, that is. Act 2 of Angel Island Zone begins right where Act 1 left off. I quite like this change, and okay. I narrowly dodged the secret special stage in the wall there. I'll go over those at a later time. I had a shield for a while there, but since I just lost it, let's talk about a different one instead. A shield will protect you from the next hit. You will not drop rings on the next hit, you'll just lose your shield. Shields can also be of different elements. This one is a bubble shield, or water shield as people sometimes call it. The main uses for shields is that they give you an extra ability for double jumping while having one. This one causes you to bounce on the ground like this, which you can use to pound that switch into the ground and make it feel bad for holding the water in place or something. Water just slows Sonic's movement, so far anyway. That's not all that it does, but we will be seeing more of what it does in due time, believe me. It also isn't doing a great job putting out these fires, but I guess when the fire is on this scale, what can water do exactly? Also, I've heard somewhere that, like, wildfires actually spread more with water. And, well, I'm not sure. Anyway, this waterfall, this waterfall is definitely not helping the cause. That bounce did not help me. That's okay, though. What is here? Oh, okay. That's a special stage. I'm gonna avoid those. If you touch that, you'll be transported to a special stage that you have to complete for a Chaos Emeralds. I'll go over those in more detail at another time. That one just happened upon. And I'd rather keep this good pace going. What do you say we keep these good vibes going? Those two platforms are so weird. Sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. They're not very reliable. Alright. Why did I... The Bubble Shield's ability definitely isn't that useful in this game. I'm much more used to its incarnation in a certain later Sonic game that I may or may not be playing in the future. Hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. What else can shields do? Oh yeah, having any shield will deflect any small projectiles from you. The shield will also provide immunity to the specific element that the shield is of. Why would we need an immunity to water? You'll see. Right here we have a set piece. This person has extremely lousy aim. I have no idea how they thought that I was over there. Doesn't even look like it. I know the idea is that Sonic is supposed to be outrunning or dodging and weaving between all of those bombs, but it really just looks like whoever's piloting that ship can't aim for shit. And then right as the ship disappears, trees come in. That's rate limitations for you, or background layer limitations, whatever. Right here we have first boss! I knew it! It was Eggman all along, the main villain of the Sonic games, and as soon as we saw the robots here, yeah, who didn't guess that Mega Man would be behind it? This first boss can also be kind of tricky. Those projectiles are a little weird how sometimes when they're shot straight down, for instance here, when he goes higher up, they fall through the ground in this case, but when they were shot at an angle, you saw they were passing down below the ground. There's also this bottomless pit that makes your jumps kind of harder. Not just because, like, if you jump too far, you fall, but because if you're standing on that bridge as Eggman destroys it, the collision for it disappears all at once and you just fall through. Very strange, weird death that can happen. Now, on this terrible background that does not let you see what score I'm getting at all, we end the first zone of the game. No! No! Not the water level! Not this early! How could you? Man, no, I disagree with that. Hydrocity Zone is the fan favorite among all the water levels in Sonic, and it is not hard to see why. Since water normally slows down Sonic's momentum and everything, it usually just takes forever and is a huge slog to go through them, but this level says screw that. Got these things that you can zoom across, and even the moments when you are a bit slower, you still just feel a little bit faster than, like, even Sonic 1 or 2. I don't know if there's actually a control difference that much, but anyway, big thing about water. Sonic cannot breathe in water. He only has 30 seconds of oxygen. If you don't grab one of those large bubbles or collect a bubble shield before the 30 seconds are up, you drown and die. When you get low on air, you will know. The bubble shield, as I just mentioned there, allows you to be immune to drowning. That is the water immunity that it provides. It's pretty great. It does mean, however, that the bubble shield definitely is not very useful outside of levels that contain water in them. However, in Sonic 3's case, excuse me, what happened there? In Sonic 3's case, a lot of levels contain water, so yeah, this thing's gonna get a lot of use. But for a game like, say, Sonic Mania, it doesn't see a whole lot of use. Anyway, there are two other elemental shields we haven't seen yet. I love the elemental shields, they're one of my favorite features in the game. Kill those flies. This guy, I like to wait until he goes for a little bit, and then I kill him, because if I get him any earlier than that, he seems to always hit me, and I don't really know why. Got these fish, those will latch onto you and cause damage over time. And as you can see, these guys' projectiles are no problem for me. I can just jump right through them because I have a shield equipped. Can collect a second one here, in case I lost it at all. Not all projectiles are deflected by shields. It's mainly just small ones like that. You can step onto that. I always thought you had to jump onto that, and that made timing out so much harder. The music jingle earlier indicated that I got an extra life for collecting 100 rings. I think that's my favorite incarnation of the collect 100 coins to get the level up thing, because it's rewarding you for not taking damage over a period of time, or for, like, you know, not getting hit a whole ton. It's time for me to finally show a special stage. Get blue spheres! That text used to say get blue balls in prototype versions of the game, and Sega decided to change it so that the kids of the 90s wouldn't snicker over it. At least I think that's why they changed it. It could have been a different reason. You have to, Sonic moves forward automatically, and you have to turn him by pressing a button before he hits one of the corners, I guess, one of the vertices between the squares patterned there. The hard thing about these minigames, and the reason why I'm so bad at them, is because Sonic will gain speed over time. Yeah, he just gained speed right then. Not only will the music speed up, but so will he. And this really flows off your mojo because Sonic can only turn at those vertices. And if you press the button beforehand, it just buffers the... See? I just totally fucked that up. Because, like, I was pressing it expecting to turn on the next one, but I pressed it a little too early. Like, you have to be really good with timing, and I'm just so awful at those special stages. Sonic 1 and 2s actually are pretty okay for me, and Sonic Manias are as well, but those ones, I can just never get the hang of them, so that's why I'm not going to be playing them here. I'd rather just play the platforming levels. Here's the mid-boss of Hydrocity Act 1. It's a decent step up of challenge from Angel Island Act 1, I'll tell you that. What even happened there? The what? Okay, I hit him. I'll take it. I would have loved to have kept the bubble shield there, because if you can keep it, didn't really matter though, but you can, like, bounce and hit him so many times in a row, and it's really satisfying. The end of the stage taking place underwater when you know Sonic can drown is really anxiety-inducing. You're like, no, don't drown during the results. Thankfully, he cannot. Fun level, but don't worry, it's not the end of the fun. Hydrocity Act 2. This level is stupid fun, and I love it. Do you ever have those moments when you start replaying a game, one of your favorite games, and you hit that moment where you're like, yeah, replaying this was a great idea? This level is that moment for me with Sonic 3. And you're about to see why. We begin with a section where a wall's coming after you, so just stay ahead of the almighty threat, the wall, break through these, and you're good. That's about it. Okay, gotta get onto this platform, and then bounce upwards. Oh, the background is so beautiful. The sprite work in this game is generally awesome. And now, here's the main feature of the level. Slides from an honest-to-God water park. Being real with you, Hydrocity Act 1 is the biggest water section in this entire game, and it's done now. And you saw how painless it was. Hydrocity Act 2, basically, okay, there is water in it, but you spend so little of the level going through it, and when you are going through it, you're going through it at those insanely high speeds. It's like the developers know how notorious their water levels are for being slower than the rest of the games, and they were like, you know what? Let's make our water level for Sonic 3 insanely fast. And that's why I love it. I love the water level because you don't have to spend any time in the water. No, I really like Act 1, and Act 2 is just... It's true that you're not really controlling Sonic through these pieces, but it is always so much fun just watching him go through all of this. It feels like a roller coaster ride. One you're not really feeling for yourself, but you at least feel like you have some influence on it. Like, the entire gameplay is basically just hold the down button. Okay, that time he didn't launch the thing. Yes, there was invincibility in the wall there. I just don't need it. And besides, it interrupts the excellent music, which I'll let you listen to in a bit. And so does the 1-up jingle. The 1-up jingle also mutes all the other sound effects in this game, which I find to be really funny. Get up here. I have no idea, like, what are those things grabbing you? How do they make you so fast, I wonder? They're like, yes, you have been captured. You will now go at Mach speed down the freaking thing. You will go so fast, you'll have whatever condition people can get for going too fast. What the fuck just happened there? Okay. I'm playing this game on an emulator, so some of this weirdness might be the emulator, but I swear this game has the weirdest physics sometimes. But again, it might be emulator. I've definitely experienced emulator quirks with this game in the past. Whee! Down, underneath the water. Could you imagine a water park slide taking you under the water? I saw that bubble shield. I am not passing up the opportunity. We'll have to go through a little section of water in order to get it, but that's okay with me. Yeah, run away. Run away like the coward you are. Ah yes, I said I would let you listen to this music, and I am a boy of my word, so here you go. We might be coming up to the end of the stage. Fuck. Alright, never mind. I really like standing still here because after Knuckles hits that, Sonic is bored in midair, and you can even move him around and he doesn't change animation. It's so great. Here's the boss. Now, an opinion I'm gonna raise throughout this playthrough is that I'm not the big fan of the bosses in Sonic 3, but this is one of the good ones in my opinion. He tries to draw you in here. If you have the bubble shield, you could just bounce up and hit him like I've demonstrated there. But the main way to hit him is to stand on that. That thing's a platform, and you can use it to get a hit on him. Then he'll start dropping these bombs, and you can use the bomb's explosions for heights. It's a little hard to do there, but I think you get the idea. Let me just, okay, no, right here. There we go. I'll just go back to Nevermind. Without any shield equipped, Sonic's double jump ability is this. This little force field appears around him. It's officially called the Insta Shield, which I think is a very misleading name because it's really an offensive tool. It increases your range of attacking certain bosses or enemies. Or, well, all bosses or enemies. It's really great against bosses or enemies, though. It makes up that little difference that makes fighting enemies so much more fun. And there we go. Not taken down super quickly, but that's not what I expect to do in this playthrough. This is just going to be a standard playthrough of the game. If you're expecting speedruns, you come to the wrong place. Hydrocity is done. Excellent level. Great way to get the game started. The beginning of Marble Garden Zone Act 1 is very symbolic. It's all downhill from here. Okay, I won't be that mean about it. I think I should start this by saying this playthrough video has nothing to do with the success of my video that I posted last week where I defended a certain zone from this game. Alright, that's not foreshadowing or anything. But yeah, I was going to make this video regardless of the success of that. I just decided to make that video to go alongside it, and it got a lot more attention than I was expecting. Anyway, in that video, I very much criticized this zone for not being the most fun, in my opinion, and I do stand by that claim. Okay, sure, top, just don't move, whatever you want to do. That top is ordinarily supposed to scoot along the ground really fast and let you go new places that you wouldn't be able to otherwise. That one just decided that it didn't want to work, though. You also have these enemies. I think it is possible to kill those enemies using the Insta-Shield while they have the spikes up, but I've never gotten it to work anymore for some reason. I was able to do it in the past, just not anymore. Okay, sure, I'll take this bouncer. Main reasons why I don't like this level. It is so confusing, the progression of it. Everywhere looks the same, and you're going in so many different directions, it's really hard to remember where things are, and on top of that, some obstacles are placed in really obnoxious positions. We saw one of the swinging maces earlier in the level. Those are everywhere, and for whatever reason, they're like put directly in your path, and you're not given any chance to see them coming. This guy I could have at least reacted to better than that, but you know. Then you have these tops. I find these to be kind of weird in how they control. You have to move to make them go up, except moving backwards doesn't do anything. And then when they hit the ground, suddenly they rush off. They're super excited. I don't know why this happens. This unlocks new pathways for you. There's certain walls or floors that only those things can open. And yeah, they're just very weird. I do like these fake spike enemies, though, that you can attack from the side. Or you can also bounce off of them. All right, there we go. Got him with the Insta-Shield there. Let's keep moving. I instinctively do that to every wall of spikes. See, wouldn't it have been nice if I could have actually seen that coming, you know? Alright, these guys. Gotta hit them 3 times, avoid the arrows. If you want to, you could take risks and try to jump before the arrow shoots, but I'm not that brave. Sorry. Okay, down we go. I also have no idea what that weird dark red liquid is in some parts of the levels. Like, I think we're gonna see it again at some point soon. And you're seeing how, like, most platformers, they make you go right most of the time, whereas this level is taking you every which direction possible. And I understand wanting to change up a feeling of progression, but this just makes the level feel so confusing to me. That was close. Hello. This is at least fun. I like being able to having to time a spin dash through that. All right, we're gonna go down into the dungeon. Spin around this. We have not seen the other elemental shields in detail. I think you can get some in this level, but I don't know where. Alright, the top seemed like it was giving up, so I decided to get rid of it, whether or not that was a good idea. Oh, fuck you. Stupid spikes. Yeah, this. What is this? What is this doing here? What is this liquid? Is it blood? No, obviously not, but like, barbecue sauce? I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Either way, you sink down side of it, don't go to the bottom. Boss of Act 1, you know the drill. Hit it a bunch of times and then it dies. Anyway, you also want to avoid these stalactites that come from the ceiling. Don't think anything else hurts you. It's similar to the boss of Mystic Cave Zone in Sonic 2 in that way. The sharp things are the only dangerous ones. The boss itself is also pretty damn dangerous. That's that. Not bad. Not terrific either. But hey, neither are any of the bosses in this game. And it continues. I really really like how they deal with Act 2s in this game. I'll say something positive here so you don't just hear me complaining about this zone repeatedly. I really like what they do with Act 2s in this game. In the previous games, previous Sonic games, Act 2s were just kind of the same level as Act 1, but rearranged differently. Wow, this was a really quick level, wasn't it? No. Eggman appears briefly in another drill. That's just the whole theme of this level, I guess. There's a new Badnik, at least. Sometimes the Act 2s or Act 3s, as the case may be in the previous games, had new stuff in it. Like, I remember Metropolis Zone introduces lava in one of its subsequent acts, but overall, the subsequent acts in the previous games never felt all that different. Sonic 3 definitely aims to change that by not only giving the Act 2s different music, which I really like, it was always one of my favorite aspects of the game, also having them start immediately where Act 1 leaves off, which I also really always liked. Okay, there's actually a special stage down here, and I've decided I'm gonna take this opportunity to redeem myself. I can totally beat this first special. It's giving me the... For some reason in the old Sonic games, you don't get to retry the first special stage until you've looped through all the others first. Why do they do this? I don't get it. Anyway, I was saying, the Act 2s in this game definitely feel a lot different than they did in the previous games, and that's one of my favorite aspects about it for sure. Another one of my favorite aspects is how every zone ends with a little cutscene where you get taken to the next one, and I love that. You aren't just being teleported there like you were in the previous games. I really love that, and I want to see that done more in platformers. None of these boring world map level select screens. Like, show the characters ending up in the next level. I think that's really cool. Okay, some of these can be mazes where you have to find where to go next. Okay, this way I haven't been to. Oh my god, I didn't expect to turn there, but that's fine, it worked out. Please tell me this is the remaining 50. It's not. I mean, like, you know, it didn't look like it was the remaining 50, but okay. We're gonna get them all in a circle. If you can do that, the middle ones get collected too, and all of them turn into rings, so you have none of the red hazardous will kill you ones. Okay, so I can't beat the first special stage, but I can beat special stage 2. Cool. I'm at least happy with that. I'll take that Chaos Emerald. I love the Chaos Emerald jingle. It's so cool. Perfect, Zero. I think a perfect needs you to get all the rings in addition to all the blue spheres. I don't care. Let's get back to the stages. For the stage, I mean. I'm not playing multiple stages right now, am I? I feel like how they handle the special stages in this game, how you have to find them in exploration. In the previous games, you had to collect 50 rings and, in Sonic 1's case, bring it to the end of the current level. Or in Sonic 2's case, bring them to a checkpoint, and then a little star portal will take you to them. Speaking of which, that also exists in this game, and I've yet to go over it because there's a lot happening, and it's hard to talk about it all. Okay. Focus. Calm down, concentrate, get through the simple platforming section. You can do it. Roll into that. I do really like Marble Garden's aesthetic. I like the music. The background is beautiful because this game is beautiful in every sense of the word. I like these little things. I like the rolling blue things that you run into in order to make platforms appear. I was going to spin dash into that spring, but then I decided that it was too good for me. By that I mean that Sonic just didn't turn around in time. Below me is one of the swinging maces, and they're right there too. Those ones are at least a little more reactable. That grasshopper comes out of the ground, but thankfully they don't really hurt you that much. They don't tend to hurt me that much. There we go. And then here we have to get hit by one of you. Go to the other side of the room, hit you. I'd love to see another elemental shield, but the game really does not want to give me any. We will be seeing them though, trust me. There are places where we get one. It's just, I think I've passed a few elemental shields in this level and have just ignored them because I like to keep the pace going on as long as I can. There was something up here. What's up here? I'm gonna do a little bit of exploration, why not? Oh god. I remember my mom said, okay, that's the place I can't go. My mom said that anytime she played a Sonic game back in the day, she would always want to explore the levels, but that's not how you're supposed to play them, and if you play it that way, like, you're guaranteed to hit the 10-minute time limit every single time. Here we go. More of this. Zoom! This is at least fun to watch, but, like, I'm literally not even controlling the game right now, so it's another one of those cases where, like, I usually like those sections, but, I can understand if someone thinks that some sections of Sonic 3 seem to play themselves and you really have no control over them, and it's kind of weird. Here we go, Fire Shield! This grants you fire immunity and the ability to dash forwards with the double jump, one of my favorites. It makes you feel so much faster. Hello! Feel my firepower! Or whatever. Anyway, it's not as great in this game because, or at least the version of the game I'm playing an emulator of the original Genesis version, which has the, you know, screen crunch that the low resolution has, so I can't really see where I'm going when I launch with this, and it's possible I'll just run into something, but still, it's so much fun. You go from 0 to 100 in an instant. I don't know which elemental shield would be my favorite one, though. Aha! Okay, here we go. If you collect enough rings, a star portal will appear above checkpoints. Enter them, and you go into a bonus stage. This is just an opportunity for you to get bonuses like shields, extra rings, and whatnot. They are not special stages. They do not help you in any way. That's a bubble shield. I would much rather have a fire shield, thank you. So, let's see. Here I need to actually keep going up because there's something on the bottom that is going to end the stage for me if it gets all the way up to me. Yep, it's right there, it's right there. That force field of death. Please change the orientation. Is that fire? Is that fire? I want that. Yes! I got fire back before I failed. That was my goal. That's gonna be the only bonus stage I show. I think there are 2 other bonus stages you can get for various different ring levels. What a great use of the fire shield. If only I could, you know, fucking seen that enemy coming, you stupid level! Anyway, that's an interesting little obstacle there, though. I like it. A platform that has hazards on the side. There's one where you're in a slot machine, and you have to, like, win the prizes by gambling a la Carnival Night Zone. Or, not Carnival Night Zone, Casino Night Zone. That is yet to appear. But in other news, before I begin the next one, boss time! This boss begins with a simple place where you can hit him as many times as you can. I recommend getting as many hits as possible. It'll make this upcoming part a lot easier. He destroys the entire level, or the platform we were standing on, and then Tails comes in to save the day. I'm glad you didn't take my get out of here Tails at the beginning to heart. Thanks, buddy. Falling off the screen, deceptively, is not an instant death here, as Tails will grab you and pick you back up. You want to press the up button to take a hit. You want to press the up button to gain height with Tails. What? Okay, first of all, I had no idea Eggman could attack like that. Second of all, I just accidentally defeated the boss with Tails' spinning fan of death there. Ending the stage with 0 rings and 100 points. Yeah, that's about how much I would rate this level out of 10,000 personally. No. Tails, no. Tails, why are you... No, Tails, take me back! Take me! I guess he did take the get out of here Tails to heart after all. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this level either. I've already done my complaining about them though in a different video, so I think I'm gonna be a little more positive here going forwards. What's the last thing I want to say? Oh yeah, the final bonus stage, is like a bubblegum machine. I think the things come out of the machine, you pop them, you get the bonuses, you get the idea. I don't feel like I have to show them off, but if it's something you really want to see, well, it's gonna be too late because the video is the way that it is. Carnival Night features things. It is one of the more like casino-ish bumper pinball stages that take place in a city. That's how you describe level themes in a franchise as unique as Sonic. I did not follow that up very well. In order to capture the spirit of the original video that I made, where I didn't edit it at all, I'm going to try not to edit this video as much as possible. I already had to make an exception to that earlier, but I hope not to make a second one. Anyway, this level features these bumpers. These are basically just built here to stop your momentum, though you can, like, get around them in various trick ways. It is kind of fun. And, you know, this first act is very tolerable. I also like these platforms where if you jump, they go up a little bit higher, and then you move on. You can also bounce off of these guys. I think there was a shield here off screen. I'm gonna take it. It's a bubble shield. Why are they giving us a bubble shield in the middle of a carnival? I wondered what that could mean. Honestly, though, you are given bubble shields in levels that don't have water later in the game, so yeah, it really doesn't mean a whole lot. At least, for now. I like this spinny little tube. Kind of reminds me of Chemical Plant Zone. My bounces caused me to kill that bat a little bit easier. I don't think they did, actually. I probably would have killed it much easier if I hadn't bounced there. I like these tires that you have to try and jump off of. Not in that way. Okay, fine. We won't be using the tires. We're moving on. Jump off these. Get past the barrels. The barrels in this level are infamous for a reason you will see why shortly. Or perhaps longly, because this level actually takes quite a long time to get through. Yeah, Sonic 3 stages are longer than the previous games overall, at least in my perception, at least with Sonic 2. With my experience in Sonic 2, most Sonic 2 stages before Metropolis Zone last like 2 minutes at most. But with this game, they've definitely increased the length by a lot, and so the game takes longer overall. At least, that's my experience with it. I remember this was something I didn't like about the game at first, but over time, it actually became one of my favorite things, because with Sonic 2, I was like, level's over already? Really? I was having so much fun. With this game, I get to have even more fun. This guy, hit him, expose his weak spot, and cause his own freaking thing to kill him. And make sure to do that before all the platform is destroyed. Not like you have any say in the matter for where this thing goes. Maybe you do, but, you know. There we go. You also want to avoid the spinning top thing itself, as it will hit you and kill you. That was cool. I got hit by electricity on the side of that thing that shows up on occasion. As far as I can tell, there's no wind-up animation for it, but I might not be looking hard enough. Let's try this again. I like the falling background that goes along with this fight. Very climactic. Alright, come on. Is this another freaking drill, by the way? Why are there so many drills? Eggman really needed to drill stuff for his upcoming project, and so he decided to use all the drills he created himself as bosses. That is a pretty good use of resources, though. Recycling your own stuff for other uses, such as defeating your arch-nemesis, the Blue Hedgehog. Ending the stage again with 0 rings. This is gonna become a pattern, isn't it? The more rings you can collect, the more bonus points you get. I always like to try and keep a high ring bonus as much as I can, but sometimes that's just not in my control. I'll take the 1,000 points, though, from time bonus. Time bonus goes down the longer it takes for you to finish a level. Hate this level. Hate this level. I said I wouldn't complain, but I don't know if I can get myself to stop that. As you just saw there, this level features water. In my video defending that certain level of this game, I brought up this section and wondered why the hell it was there, because it didn't seem to belong at all in my opinion. Game where you're incentivized to go fast. If you go fast there, you fall into the spikes. Thanks, Sega. Anyway, some people responded to that claim, though, saying that the reason why there's water in this level is because Angel Island is actually supposed to float in the sky. However, it's fallen down onto the earth and rests in the ocean. Because of that, various parts of its outer areas are flooded, and this is supposedly one of them. I'm not sure that's what the developers were going for, but I do like that idea, and, you know, I don't hate the section's inclusion that much anymore. Still, it feels at least somewhat arbitrary to me. Oh god, this barrel. Okay. I'll save this for the actual barrel that I'm pretty sure you're required to do the weird method for, but yeah. Enough complaining about this level, though. Isn't the background kind of cool? I like how it has a bottom area with all the lights of the city, and then this top area where it gets darker and darker as nature takes over. That is a really cool style of it, I will admit. Can you stop bouncing me for the love of God? Thanks. Probably just had to play differently there. I'll take it. This gives me 10 points every time. I'll take it. I'll take the extra score. All that score does in this game is you get an extra life for every 500,000 points you get, I think, or 50,000 points. Hi, Knuckles! Out of Knuckles' many worst crimes, many crimes, here, let me word this better. Out of Knuckles' many crimes, his worst so far has to be him turning off the power for the stage. I already didn't like the visual style as much as something like Casino Night, but this makes the level look so bland and boring. I don't know why this was done. Makes an already kind of slow, uninteresting level, in my opinion, all the more so. But hey, I said I would stop complaining. Anyway, here's the real water section. It doesn't last terribly long, but the main feature of it is those air bubbles inside the balloons, where you are, you know, you pop a balloon, it has air in it, you can breathe in that air, and then Sonic talks in a high-pitched voice for the next few hours. I've never actually tried inhaling helium, but I know that it does that to your voice, and I wonder for how long. Probably only like 10 minutes in reality. Just, oh my god, this level... I don't know, it's just a bunch of like twinkly lights on a completely black canvas now. It does not look like a Sonic game anymore. I'll take those, the flood of points I got there, hitting those things. Bounce on the barrels. We are not at the barrel that you are required to get past yet, or are we? Did we pass it? Are you required to do the weird method on the previous barrel in the level? 'Cause I'm not sure if you are. Bounce you. Go up here. I think one of them... Okay, well, let me move my headset. I think one of the main reasons I don't like this level is the music. Normally, I love the Act 2 remixes, and many of them are fantastic, perhaps even better than the Act 1 pieces. This one is nothing more than Carnival Night Zone Act 1, but with certain parts of it taken out. And this is also going to remain the case for the next couple of levels. I know that this style, this music has its fans, or like, you know, the Act 2 music specifically has its fans, but for me personally, oh, thank God color's been restored to the world. It's like the ending of Splatoon 2, or Splatoon 3 side order. But for me personally, I think it is an awful choice for a Sonic game to have music that is just such low energy compared to its Act 1 version. Enough about that though, let's talk about this barrel. You want to know how you're supposed to get past this part? The barrel is in your way. You can't progress, can't go jump very high. You can jump on the barrel and get a little bit of height. Thing is, up top above us is a dead end. Jumping up won't do anything. You have to get below the barrel. How do we knock it out of the way? You have to jump on it to get it moving from side to side, then press the direction it is currently moving in a rhythm. You have to press up, down, up, down, and then it will move farther and farther apart. How anyone was supposed to figure that out, I have no idea. Sonic games are usually criticized for their trial and error sections, but holy shit, that's another freaking level. Like, the rest of the trial and error in Sonic games is nothing compared to that. What kind of bullshit is that? Sure, it's no problem anymore once you've played the game and you already know that it exists, or even when you play the game for the first time and you know what to do there like I did on my first playthrough, but there's no denying that is objectively awful game design. No, the manual does not tell you how to do it. I don't think. I've heard at least from people that the manual does not tell you how to get past it. My theory is, because the initial release of Sonic 3 was such a short game, they put that in so that players would never get past it, and the game would feel much longer than it actually was. But that's just my overly cynical theory about it. Aha, we are done. Almost. Darn you, invisible wall, preventing me from going there and teaching Knuckles a lesson for turning off the power earlier. Here's the boss of Carnival Night. This weird machine that steals bubbles away from children like that. Drops this green orb, flies above it, then does whatever the heck this is to create a magnet that draws you in. I'm not sure where the concept comes from, but maybe this is based off something in real life. That would actually be kind of cool if it was. Use the insta-shield to get hits on it. He droops down to pick it up. That's the time he's most vulnerable. Get the usual 8 hits. You're done. 6 minutes, 29 seconds. Some of that was me stopping to wait for the barrel, but the rest of that was me progressing through the level at a normal pace. Yeah, I really don't like this level, but hey, complaining is done. It's over. 600 points. Now, we must head on further and use this cannon to blast off somewhere much more fun. Didn't know you had such skills, including snowboarding and getting yourself covered in snow. I have never been happier to see snow or ice in my life. Ice Cap Zone Act 1, one of my favorite levels in this game, and might even be my favorite from the first half of Sonic 3. It is that fun. First of all, level's gorgeous as always. This level really brings out the beauty in winter. I usually disagree with the fact that, with the notion that winter can be beautiful, because, like, in the places I live in, it isn't really. It's just kind of drab brown and gray skies and white snow that gets really boring to look at after a while, but this level shows how beautiful winter can be in the right environments, and I love it for that. In other news, Electric Shield draws in nearby rings in addition to providing immunity from electric hazards and allowing you to double jump like so. Finally, pressing jump twice is an actual double jump. It's doing what it's supposed to do. I love the drawing in rings, because as soon as you get near the rings, it doesn't matter how far away you then get from the rings, it's always drawn in and collected for you. It's like Gathering Storm, but in Hollow Knight, but a little more limited. I love these slide sections. They're the best slide sections in any Sonic game. I guess. I'm just kind of pulling that opinion out of my ass. Never mind. Let me not say that, because I have no other arguments to back that up. I also like how some of the ones, the normal Sonic stuff is like, the normal Sonic, what are they? Set pieces, like the springs, the power-ups and whatnot. It's taking me way too long to say this, are covered in ice. You have to break them out first. They got frozen over. I also like how Sonic gets bored riding this thing. He's like, oh man, I want to be doing the moving myself. Well, Sonic, you do realize that you sliding down the slides here isn't you doing the movement yourself either. This level is a lot like Hydrocity Act 2 to me. It's just so fast, so fun, so high energy, the music's great, and you know, it's beautiful looking. Also like Hydrocity Act 2. Want to charge up a spin dash to get into that? If you go into these with much less momentum, yeah, you get results like that. Is the level already over? But I was having so much fun! At least there's Act 2 to look forward to, I guess. Like those rings, fly on over to the boss arena! Oh, that backdrop looks so great. Alright, this guy summons a bunch of rocks, then is vulnerable for a brief window of time, and I still get hit anyway because I'm just bad at this game, I guess. Yeah, I'm just bad at this game, I guess. Then he launches them all away, making himself vulnerable for a few hits. There we go. They'll fall on top of you over time, or at least try to. There, they did not succeed. An alright boss. I feel like the hitboxes are a little strange, but again, that might just be emulator quirks. Also, as you saw, the goalpost that comes down from the heavens can reveal hidden power-ups for you. Ice Cap Act 2 exists. I'm not really sure what to think about it. I like the level. I like the level itself. I want to keep this electric shield as long as I can, and I will definitely do that. Those gusts from the ceiling will freeze you if they hit you. You'll basically be encased in a block of ice, and then a second later, you'll be hit. The only difference is that you take knockback twice. It's kind of me. I do like that this level takes place in the outdoors and that it brightens up the sky a little bit, or at least Sonic 3 Complete does that. That might be one of the minor differences between it and the original. You also go back down to the caves, so the caves get some time to shine. The level's still really fast and high energy. My problem is the music. I hear that these remixes where you just take parts out of the original track and call it a day have an official name that they're called dub remixes, and they are sometimes done with traditional music, but for a Sonic game, I think they're just awful. I'm sorry, I know that this has its fans, but I think this is a pretty terrible music track for a Sonic level. Act 1 was so awesome, so high energy, really gave this level all the feeling, the feeling that it has. I'm struggling to say what I mean to say here. And then this part, it just sounds like someone sucked all the fun out of it. Anyway, I guess I could change the subject by saying that, it's pretty common knowledge. The music for Ice Cap is an instrumental version of an unreleased 80s song called Hard Times by the Jetsons. The song resurfaced on YouTube in 2009, and I highly recommend going to give it a listen. It is a genuinely great song. I'm surprised it never got released. But you know how the music industry is sometimes. I like how there's this little piece of ice just hanging out in the corner over here. Ice Cap Act 2's boss. He's a joke if you have the electric shield. Just stay away from it and jump like this. If you don't have the electric shield, though, like I'm not about to have, need to time your hits so that you're jumping up to attack while those gusts are not aimed for you. It's a pretty annoying boss, if I'm honest. I remember honestly raging at it when I played it the first time. There it went down pretty painlessly. That's why I recommend keeping the electric shield. Not my favorite boss in the world by any means. That was Ice Cap Act 2. An okay level. I like the level itself. Really don't like the music. I know that in this ROM hack you can change the music to be different, but I think I like Ice Cap Act 1 more than that. So when I was a kid and I didn't have Sonic 3, but I had played 1 or 2, my only experience with the game was watching tool-assisted speedruns of it online uploaded to YouTube. Those were the only playthroughs that I'd seen at the time. And I remember one where they skipped all the way through Act 2 on their run of Act 1. So they defeated the boss, and then the game hit this thing, and then the game was like, alright, time for Act 2, and then they immediately came over here and moved on to the next zone. I like that glitch. It was pretty funny. It also makes me wonder how the games work internally. But enough about that. Launch-based zone. This is the final zone of the Sonic 3 standalone cartridge that was released first. Which will hereby be referred to as Sonic 3 Lite, because that's all it really is to me. As you can see, there's a huge ominous structure in the background built by none other than Eggman himself. That is the Death Egg, a creation that he wants to launch into space to do whatever he wants to do with it. We already had to stop him from making it in Sonic 2, but here he's trying to launch it once more, and we have now entered the launch base and are trying to stop it for good. That's the whole plot line going on here, basically. I like that. The plot is told through a lot of subtext. You might not notice that it's even there, but it doesn't matter because the main gameplay itself is just fun enough that you don't care. Alright, let's see. Okay, these guys are pretty easy to kill if you use the insta-shield. Lets you get past their spike balls. It's also this thing. It's about to fling me to the other side of the room. I also like how you go in and out of buildings and you can see, like, the foreground disappearing as you do so. Nice little trick. Sonic 3 definitely used a lot of visual tricks in its main levels for the Genesis. It was, like, kind of a showcase for, hey, look at the cool graphics we can make. And it is one of the highlights for the game for a lot of people because it was pretty cool for the times, considering the first two games. However, on a semi-related topic, I should probably get into the question of what the hell is Sonic 3 and Knuckles? Why does it differ from Sonic 3? What is going on? A lot of sources seem to claim that the reason why Sonic 3 was split up into 2 games was technical limitations, but I don't believe that this is the case. They were planning to fit it into one cartridge, and I'm pretty sure that this ROM hack Sonic 3 Complete can fit into one Genesis cartridge. So I don't think that's the reason. Really, I think the reason is, sorry, I'm being distracted by being hit. I think the real reason is deadlines. Sega wanted to release a Sonic game for the upcoming holiday season, and in the time the developers had left, they did not have nearly enough time to finish the full game that they wanted to make. So they instead finished the first half of the game and released that as Sonic 3. They then finished the second half of the game and the remainder of the game and released it as the rest of it as Sonic and Knuckles. The Sonic and Knuckles cartridge was given a special slot where you could connect. Oh my god, this little thing right here has caused me so many off-screen bullshit deaths. Anyway, it had a special slot where you could connect Sonic 3 in it, and if you did that, you literally combined the games together and got Sonic 3 and Knuckles. The game that I'm playing here, the game that basically connects the two games together into one cohesive journey. It was the always intended experience because otherwise they wouldn't have allowed you to do that. Sonic 3 Lite contained the first 6 zones of the game, ending with Launch Base. Sonic & Knuckles contains the remaining half. I like how, I like these alarms. Whenever you pass by them, a bird badnik spawns. Probably the weakest possible thing Eggman could send as a response to an alarm, but I guess he just used up his budget in other places and couldn't be bothered. I mean, otherwise, Eggman has pretty great security, so yeah. Hey, speaking of the man himself, here he is. Or the anthropomorphic human himself. I don't know. Ride this to the top, and you again. I love this. Up until this point, Knuckles has basically just been pranking us, but here, he loses his patience and just fucking bombs the tower. And then you must stand here and watch the tower crumbling animation that the developers worked so hard to create. How dare you want to finish the game any faster? It doesn't bother me that much. We're at a boss, so the camera stops scrolling. I wanted to enter that bonus stage just to see if it would be different. Another mid-boss here. Gotta dodge past these things. Hit the center there. It's pretty fun, honestly. I quite like it. It's a nice timing challenge. One of my favorites bosses in all of Sonic 3, for sure. There we go. Once it gets down to 1, it's really easy, but, you know. I think... Oh, yeah, if you play as Knuckles, you fight 2 of them. Honestly, they should have put 2 of them in here. I don't know why they did... Why is there just the 1? Anyway, I'll take my bubble shield and move on. Launch Base Act 1's pretty fun. Act 2 is also kind of fun, but since it does the same stupid cut-out parts from Act 1's music and call it a day, I've always found it to be a little more boring than the others. And I really do think, like, Ice Cap Act 2 and Launch Base Act 2 really aren't bad levels. It's just the music that I have a problem with, really. Look at that 3D water effect, though. That was also used in Hydrocity Zone Act 1 earlier in the game, and I didn't point it out there because things were moving by really fast. That looks great. Anyway, yeah, the music is, I think, a main factor for why I consider these levels a little more boring than the rest. That and those stupid flamethrowers, get out of here! Right along this, jump up to the top, so to fail to grab the hook, go down here instead, which will take me somewhere. This level's also just kind of a confusing network of pipes that just go somewhere. Its progression is somewhat similar, or somewhat reminiscent of Marble Garden in that way. You're just kind of going around the place, and, like, you just have to hope the direction you're going in is the correct one. And most of the time it is. I'll give it that. That, like, Sonic levels aren't exactly, like, that confusing, because you're always, pretty much always making progress no matter where you're going. There are some exceptions to that, with a certain zone later in the game, but, you know. Okay, being launched all over the place. What did I want to talk about? Ah, yes. For whatever reason, the three previous zones we've been playing, Carnival Night, Ice Cap, and Launch Base, which coincidentally are the same ones to have the Lazy Act 2 remixes. I don't really want to call it lazy. They were running under time constraints and had to do the best they could, and you know what? Whatever. If it had to be done to get the game out, I'm happier for it. Anyway. In the modern re-release of this game in Sonic Origins, Sonic Origins is notorious for not including this version of the music for these zones. And I think the reason why is because there's a little bit of copyright trouble where, like... Okay, I don't exactly know the full story behind his involvement on this game, but there is definitely some truth that, some of the music in this game was either created by or inspired by Michael Jackson, or it was created by someone who worked with Michael Jackson, not entirely sure. Carnival Night, Ice Cap, and Launch Base are one of these such things. And apparently there's just copyright trouble with them, and so they can't be included in re-releases. They were also not included in the original PC release for Sonic 3 back in the 90s. The, I think it was like Sonic 3 and Knuckles Collection? Something like that. They were removed from that version and had to be removed from the Origins versions as well and replaced with totally different tracks. That's when you know that you're running out of air, when that music starts up. Get to the surface or hit an air bubble in time and you should be good. When you hear that music, it means you have 10 seconds left. Okay. This level also has water in it, but it's only for very brief times. The water's barely even an issue. So, jumping up. Also, the ROM hack I'm playing Sonic 3 Complete gives you the option to turn on, like, Genesis renditions of those, of that music in the ROM hack itself, if you want to. Here's the first boss of, Launch Base Act 2. Yes, first boss. There are multiple. He launches a cannon. First one goes above. I should remember that. Second one goes below. The one that goes below is insanely easy to avoid. If you just memorize that pattern, yeah, that's the entire fight. Kind of underwhelming, especially for the final level of the first half of the game, huh? Well, I already spoiled it, so yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyway, we can take a nice comfy ride inside of Eggman's Eggmobile, and hi, Knuckles. Okay, to be fair, you're strong. I can see why the Chaos Emeralds got knocked out of me. Unfortunately for him, the Death Egg has taken launch. We are right on time. We have to pilot this thing as fast as we can in order to stop this. I'm sure Sonic is right now going like, come on, can't this thing go any faster? Damn you, Eggman, why is your stuff so slow? Sadly, Death Egg's in the middle of the ocean, so Sonic can't just run there himself. Water is his one and only weakness. I love that giant fire down there coming out of the rocket engines. Looks so cool. Made it just in time. Let's see what we can do about this. All we really can do about this is defeat the next boss and hope that that fixes the problem. That's how video games work. Hit the top, avoid the little spiky juice encircling him, don't be on the sides when he shoots the lasers, and this fight should go fine. Find out when he goes down, it's harder to hit him. He can also pop up from the left side sometimes, but he decided not to for whatever reason. And that's that. If you're playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but in Sonic 3 Lite, the standalone cartridge, the game ends here, so in order to actually have the ending feel climactic, they threw in a final boss here, and Sonic 3 Complete re-enables this final boss, allowing you to play it in the Sonic 3 and Knuckles mode, or the Sonic 3 Complete mode, as it calls it. Oh, you can hit the boss as it comes down, I should have known that. It cycles between, it basically just tries to grab you. It'll float in from off screen like it did earlier. It'll also come from above, go down there, sweep from side to side, try to hit you with the spikes. You want to jump like that, hit it in the middle there. Use the insta-shield here for better accuracy. If you have an elemental shield, good luck. Okay, I think you can totally hit this thing as it's coming down. I think you have to jump up through the hand, though. It's a little, yeah, okay. You have to hit the hand. You have to hit the bottom of the hand. And here, where it goes up, it's kind of weird. I got lucky there, but, you know, sometimes where he chooses to stop in place and then fly upwards needs to be reacted to really fast, and it's hard to tell when he's going to do it. Hit him a few times, and done is done. What's done is done. I don't know. And yes, the Death Egg is a reference to the Death Star from Star Wars. It doesn't even look like an egg, though. It should at least be more egg-shaped than that. Hi, Tails. That cutscene there is taken from the menu screen of Sonic and Knuckles. It is included in this ROM hack as a way to bridge the two games together, and I quite like it. It ordinarily does not appear there in official Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Here we begin the Sonic and Knuckles stages with Mushroom Hill Zone and a sighting of Knuckles. I see. He's trying to keep something hidden. Well, little does he know, the switch is two-way, and I could just open it up and see what he hasn't. That's the most majestic ring I've ever seen in my life. Even the scoreboard and shit can't handle it. I love the limited color palettes and what they do with the scoreboards in this game. This here is known as the Hidden Palace, a reference to Hidden Palace Zone, an unused stage that was going to be in Sonic 2. It is here we find the Master Emerald, this giant green emerald at the top here, and it is the sacred treasure of Angel Island. Useful for lots of things. You'll see what they can be useful for in just a bit. Once you get to this point in the game, if you have all 7 Chaos Emeralds from playing 7 special stages and successfully beating them, you actually give them up, turn in any that you've collected here, and gain a new ability to stand on one of these things, which will take you to a brand new special stage. This unlocks a new set of 7 special stages that unlock the Super Emeralds. I may as well spoil what getting all the Chaos Emeralds does because it's common knowledge. Getting all the Chaos Emeralds unlocks Supersonic. Getting all of the Super Emeralds involves Hypersonic, a more powerful version of Supersonic that has only appeared this one time in, as far as I know, in the entire Sonic franchise. I'd want to go for it because it's a little special, but again, I don't really enjoy these special stages that much, and yep, I totally messed that up. Like, I need to practice these so many times. Maybe I can make a follow-up to this video where I go through all of them just for fun. Normally, when you complete one of the Super Emerald special stages, you have a little cutscene where you're taken back to that room, and then that Super Emerald starts glowing all brightly. I guess I should explain more of what Supersonic is. It's a very fast, invincible form of Sonic. We saw it briefly at the start of this game. It goes way faster than normal Sonic, and you are invincible through it. With the exception of falling into bottomless pits or being crushed, the normal instant kills in this game. Otherwise, hazards and enemies don't do a thing to you. It's basically like having invincibility and the fast movement shoe, whatever it's called. I used to call it the funny shoe because I used to find it really funny how equipping that power-up sped up the music. I always liked that as a kid, so I called it the funny shoe. Anyway, Mushroom Hill Zone. I don't have a lot to say about it, honestly. It's a nice little stop. It is meant to be a first level, so it is a lot easier than the previous levels have been. You have that vine you have to spin dash to get away from. I really like the sounds these mushrooms make when you bounce on them. One of my favorite sounds from the game, personally. Anything else to talk about? Wow, Sonic, you're really starting to rip off Mario, ain't you? No, of course not. That guy you have to hit twice. That guy, you can just do that. Also, wait, no, those balls from the ground are literally that enemy from Super Mario Bros. 3. I was right. Sonic is kind of ripping off Mario here. What the hell? Yeah, see, look, that's... Okay, they go a little bit faster than the ones from than the enemies from Mario 3's projectiles do, but like, come on, that's just the enemy from Mario 3. Don't try to tell me otherwise. With this thing, grab onto it and pump it. Go up and up and up, and oh my god, it takes so slow. It honestly feels like working out, even though you're not doing anything but pressing the down button. Sonic's doing all the work for you. Best I can say about this level is, your goal is to get to the chopper! I've been waiting for that one. I'm curious to see what happens if this guy runs out of logs to chop, which is his main attack. He sends them at you. What happens? I know that he moves on to the... Oh. Okay, he bounced away from that and is now moving onwards. Ah, the screen refreshes and he starts with a new set. That makes sense. Okay. I was thinking that he would take out all the trees on screen one by one until, like, there was nothing left, and then he would have some kind of new special attack, but no, it's just that. Very easy mini-boss, but considering this is supposed to be the first level Sonic & Knuckles, that would be why, I guess. It's at least better than Angel Island Act 1. Act 2 is a little bit different. We start off with Knuckles. Don't tell him about the secrets we witnessed earlier. What kind of mystical device was he powering there? Just like, what was that switch doing in the middle of the mushroom field? And what was it powering? A giant fan? I'm not sure. Anyway, now the color of this biome is different. It's all autumn colored. Interesting. I wonder how that happened. Just one section of it decided to start fall early. This video is being recorded in October, so I guess it wants to celebrate, it wants to have the Halloween spirit a little bit early. Why not? Pump it up. Also changes the color palette for a lot of things throughout this level, including projectiles. I always kind of liked that about this game. Changing the color of the level changed more than just, you know, the level's appearances. Enemies would also usually follow suit, usually because, you know, their color palette was bound to the rest of the game, so if one color changes somewhere, they have to change it too. I think that has to be one of my favorite little quirks about old games. It just, I don't know. It's just revealing all the limitations that that games used to have back in the day. It's very quaint. I've always liked it. New to this level are those weather vanes that blow you backwards. I quite like that. Here you kind of have to time this jump well. I did it first try flawlessly somehow. Did not expect that. And now, well, I might know what autumn looks like, but have I forgotten what winter's supposed to be or something? No. The real answer to it being autumn back there is not that we're playing a special stage that I didn't mean to enter. Sure, I'll give it a good old college try. Fine, I'll do it. It's that the forest is starting to die, which is why the forest now looks all green and sickly and pale. I wonder who could be doing that. I wonder who could be mad about us stopping his plans and me maybe taking his anger out on the mushroom forest. Who could that be? Oh my god, one of my favorite parts of H-Bomber Guy's most recent videos is in the vaccines and autism video, where he goes like, I wonder if there's a financial incentive for Wakefield to do something with MMR, and he goes, he gets so, like, angry with it. He's letting his inner rage and demons come out in full force. I love it. One of the best parts of that video for sure. I have to say, though, some of H-Bomber Guy's old videos aren't that great. Like, I love his modern stuff, but his Bloodborne video is pretty crap, and so is his Dark Souls 2 video. He's definitely improved his content since then, though. Okay, I did that. Okay. Well, I guess that's not one of the harder Super Emerald stages, so it shouldn't be that big of a surprise. For collecting all 7 Chaos Emeralds, you will unlock the good ending of the game, even in, like, Sonic & Knuckles, even if you don't go for the Super Emeralds. The Super Emeralds just gives you a slightly better ending. That's basically it. And it also gives Hypersonic. That too. Pump, pump, pump it up! Pump, pump, pump it up! Pump, pump, pump it up! This takes for fucking ever! I remember the tool-assisted speedruns somehow, like, absolutely spamming their way through this, and I have no idea how they did it, because if you do this, like, that gives you no height at all. There we go! Get out! Okay. Man, that's so slow. Gotta bounce on this. This is reminiscent of Starlight Zone. Quite like to see it, except you don't have to change the size of the platform you're on. You! Stop! And suddenly the forest is filled with life. Was he, like, sucking the life force of plants into a satellite dish? Ooh, also, were the mushrooms bobbing back and forth like they usually do then? Because that would be a great detail if they didn't. Speaking of great details, this boss fight is an auto-scroller, kinda. You have to keep up pace with Eggman, and you have to avoid the spiked balls in these 3D poles. These poles are totally 3D, and it's kinda subtle. It's kinda hard to notice. I think this is my preferred use of, like, visual tricks for the Genesis in Sonic games. Most of the time it kinda gets in the way, but in this case, I think it makes for an interesting challenge for this boss fight. I quite like it. I guess I need to retract some of my statement that all Sonic 3 bosses are bad, because I've been saying positive things about a lot of them so far. That's Mushroom Hill. Fine level, but we can do better. This is when the game gets good! Yeah, more than halfway through it. I'm making this game sound awesome, aren't I? No, but seriously. So far, up until this point, I've had very mixed thoughts about levels. There have been plenty that I've loved. Ice Cap Act 1, Hydrocity Act 2, Angel Island as a whole. Like, there have been plenty of great stages, but there's also been Marble Garden and Carnival Night, and I don't like those. Mushroom Hill, I just find okay. Launch Base is pretty fun, but, you know, Act 2 is a little less so. But from this point on to the end of the game, every stage is, in my opinion, an absolute banger. With one exception. Yeah. Even this part can't be perfect, but still, I love everything about this late game stage. Oh, hold on. I was spending a little more time out here because I was like, hey, wait, aren't I missing something? No, that's a different game. Bet you can't guess what different game that is. That's right, Sonic 1. Flying Battery Zone is one of my favorite zones in terms of aesthetics. It's basically a mashup of Wing Fortress and Metropolis Zone in Sonic 2, and I love it for that. You're crawling on all around on the inside and the outside of this massive airship. There's a lot of traps like these flamethrowers inside that you can dodge. There's also this fake pod that releases badniks instead of animals. And there's this one that bounces you up eventually. Again, very reminiscent of Metropolis Zone. You have to, like, navigate past these fans up here, past all the mines and stuff set for you. It feels like a climax to a game when it isn't. And I guess that's why I love it so much. And, you know, the music is an absolute banger, but we'll get more into that in a bit. There we go. Dodge past those guys, open this, fall down here. I've always kind of liked the more, like, technological, factory-ish settings of Sonic levels, and this is one of my absolute favorites in that regard. Here we go. I don't think this invincibility was absolutely necessary. I'm not even sure why it's there, because I guess so you can run through those enemies before this part, but this part has no enemies, so most of this is going to waste. Whatever. Not that I need invisibility that much anyway. Maybe I do. The fire shield was trying to aim me back to the right there for a second, and it's right. Okay, here. I recommend that you pause and wait here, and then just spin dash through it all. Even if it takes a while for the things to rise, I think it's worth it so that you avoid crush death from these platforms. If you're underneath these things, they can crush you. Case in point. I should have, like, focused on escaping that as much as I could. No worries, the last checkpoint was not far away. Alright, come on back down, buddies. Come on back down. Ordinarily, I'd cut up to where I currently am in the level progression. Oh yeah. Also, secret right here. You can push this spike aside. It reveals a hidden hole that you can fall down in to find a special stage. That secret's weird to me, because it's the only spike you can push in the entire game. I have no idea why that you can't do it anywhere else but there. Hi, Spring Yard Zone. I gotta let the freaking airship blow itself up, cause hull damage. You stupid Eggman. I like to imagine that, like, the entire time you're going through this, Eggman's in a control room going like, shit, he's absolutely panicking. Ah, and then to the act early. Nope, it's the mid-boss, and this one sucks. Sorry, but, like, all you do is just, you jump away, you get hit by that thing, jump in the totally wrong direction, jump. That's the correct way to jump. You repeat this until the thing hits itself 6 times. Stop hitting yourself. Why are you hitting yourself? Bro, why are you hitting yourself? Stop hitting yourself. What are you doing? Stop hitting yourself. At least it's over really quickly unlike certain later bosses in this game, but it's like, I don't know, I feel like ideally Sonic bosses should allow you to beat them a little faster with your own terms, and some Sonic 3 bosses don't let you do that, and I don't get it. Anyway, have a listen. The most epic elevator ride of all time. This song is a freaking banger. Sadly, the level isn't exactly. This is probably the only level at this point in the game that I don't like that much. But even then, I can honestly forgive it because this music is so awesome. This is easily my favorite music in the entire game. Still though, this level is filled with a lot of annoying traps and obstacles like this. This is here for no other reason than to just catch you out if you're like going super fast and get a cheap crush death, and like I really don't like that. I do like that these elevators are also kind of treated as hazards and you have to get off of them. That's somewhat of an interesting idea, but there's also not a whole lot of gameplay involved with just sitting there and riding up a thing. So I don't really know what the point of that is. These sections are fun at least. You know, the speed sections are fun because they're always fun. It's fun to go fast, whether or not it's you or the game doing it for you. Open this door, get on the floor, everybody do the dinosaur. I definitely lost my train of thought with whatever I was talking about in Act 1. Very sorry about that. Hopefully, editing me will put in text to finish the thought. Otherwise, you're out of luck. Okay, here. Spin dash through. There we go. Avoided the crush death there. Get down here. I'm actually surprised I haven't died so far. Normally I die in this level by this point, but that has not happened. I'll take those 100 rings and that extra life. We're up to 17 lives. If it's your first playthrough of Sonic 3, I definitely recommend playing with a save file. On the no save mode, it's like a classic arcade game. You run out of lives, you're done, you have to restart the game from the very beginning. But if you choose one of the save files, if you get a game over, you just have to restart your current zone from the beginning. This can still be punishing, especially if you're really deep into Act 2, because you have to start from Act 1, but it is at least better than having to replay the entire game all over again. Okay. Keeping on going. Look, they have all the freaking pods containing the animals back there. I love that little bit of, like, background subtext information. Take me up. Take me up eventually, someday. I'm ignoring all of those rings, I'm very sorry. This boss, I don't know. Rather than fight this, I think I'm gonna check the news real quick. Let's see. What does Google Chrome have to say for me today? The original Half-Life gets a new update for October 2024. That update was just a bug fix update, so I'm not really sure why Game Rant is reporting about it. It must be a slow news day. Chrono Trigger fans, keep an eye on Forge of the Fae. I haven't actually played Chrono Trigger myself, so it definitely seems like a fun game. Play the first 2 Dooms like they're Doom 64 with loads of new content. Sure you can. Gravity Yoshi's map may have been purposeful, but its successor had a big choice to make. I'm not sure what successor they're talking about, maybe a future thing. Now it's recommending YouTube videos. How to counter tunneling in solo queue in Dead by Daylight. Alright, that's that done. Wasn't that a load of bullshit? It's just really lame. You have no way of hitting the boss yourself, so I wasn't just like avoiding hitting the boss for a joke. You actually can't hit it. You have to sit there and watch as it destroys itself. It's just a waste of time. I don't get why that's there. But I guess I shouldn't count it as a boss. The real boss of this level may stand up. I said that statement out of order, but you know what I mean. Have to move left here, or else you get crushed by the spikes. As one final potential instant kill trap in this level. Thank goodness Mania reworked this, because yeah, this level isn't too great. From here, though, we take to the skies in terms of quality. Hit him! And then hit him again! And then dodge out of the way before he hits you with a flamethrower. He'll slowly creep towards you from here. If you jump in the middle, he'll freeze and he'll fire the flamethrowers. I don't think it's possible to hit him like this. You just kind of have to stand there and wait for him to come back around. Yet another example of these bosses kind of demanding their own pace. I'm not a huge fan of, but at least this one goes much faster than usual. Also, those are two very questionable placed spheres on your machine there, sir. That's Flying Battery Zone. Love the aesthetic, level design, yeah, definitely not my favorite. But the music is such a banger, I can totally forgive it. On to brighter pastures. So, we've arrived. Welcome back, one and all, to Sandopolis Zone. Here's where I would normally start my big rant about how this zone is overhated and people really need to give it a second chance. But I've already done that in its own special video for 30 minutes. You can go watch that here. This is the level I was alluding to earlier. Is alluding the right word there? Maybe? Oh, I usually go down here. I haven't actually seen this upper route before. Let me go this way. But yes, I made a whole 30-minute video defending this level because this seems to be everyone's... Well, actually, no. It used to be everyone's least favorite level in Sonic 3 as a whole, but I think Carnival Night has since taken that title, in all honesty, which I agree with. Okay, wow, I just jumped past that super fast. I didn't even mean to. Normally, you're supposed to take that real slow. I really like this level, especially this first act. It's so beautiful looking. I love the heat wave effect. I love the foreground, background elements. I like the designs on these pillars. I like the enemy designs. They fit in really well. I like the gradient in the sky. You can see all the dithering, and I really like dithering. For some reason, it's so aesthetically pleasing to me, seeing dithering, even though it's technically not, like, you know, perfect shading. Whatever. It's the best they could do with pixel art. And aside from that, I mean... This level does some stuff like that sometimes, but, you know, Act 1 of the two is definitely not where, the one that everyone hates, and the one that, you know, is rightfully criticized. There's a weird little loop-de-loop there that you can never interact with. Always found that funny. It's worth noting, though, this is the first official desert level in a Sonic game, first desert level in an official Sonic game. There was one in a spin-off game called Sega Sonic the Hedgehog before this point, but... You know, I don't count that. This is the first one in a mainline Sonic game. Sonic 2 was also supposed to have one, and called Sand Shower Zone, that many people mistakenly called Dust Hill Zone for a long time, before more info about the betas for Sonic 2 were revealed. I don't think this level was, like, entirely based off of Sand Shower. If anything was based off of Sand Shower, it was the prototype level Desert Dazzle that, I believe Christian Whitehead was going to add into the remake of Sonic CD, or the enhanced port, whatever you want to call it. These things right here really do slow you down. If you'd rather keep your speed through this level, best to avoid them at all costs. I just take them anyway because it's fun, and I like it, and I don't care about going through levels a little bit slower. Because, like, I'm not really approaching this game with a be as fast as possible mindset, as you could clearly tell by my gameplay thus far. I'm pretty casual about it. Like, I'll go fast when I can, and when I'm not doing shit like that. But otherwise, I take it as if it was like a slow average platformer whenever the game slows down, and so this level is not as much of a pace breaker for me as it is for other people. I totally understand the criticisms people have with this level, and I really appreciate the discussion in the comments of that video I made. Because, like, it gave me so many new perspectives, and now I am, like, you know, I will agree that there are flaws with Sandopolis as a whole. I'll get more into detail on those flaws when they actually come up. Right now, they're not existent. Aside from the fact that, you know, level's a little bit slower than the average. That's basically it. Oh my god. Okay. I think I would one day like to visit the deserts in Africa to see what they're like, because the only deserts I've been to so far are, my own deserts in the US of A. My experience with them was honestly kind of fun. I really like how the desert goes all cold at nighttime. It's a great reprieve from the heat of the day. In other news, we have the mid-boss emerging from the pyramid. Let me use the tip a lot of you told me to do. You can hit this guy. You could try to hit him backwards into the... He's immune. You could try to hit him backwards into the sand, and it's not really working? Hold on, hold on, one more. Turn around, please. Okay, so he does that. Can you hit him at any time during that? No. Seems like no. You have to wait for him to get back up anyway. Okay, yeah, no. This guy's still shit. I'm sorry, but, like, being able to hit him into the sand just isn't, like, a universal... Isn't that much faster than just, like, me sitting here and waiting for him to drop in himself. So let me see. Ooh. According to The Verge, Analog's 4K Nintendo 64 launches next year for $249. I didn't know that was happening, but that's cool. I should have launched that in the freaking quicksand. Ring bonus 100. Here we are. The one everyone hates, except me and a lot of others. Sandopolis Zone Act 2. It's the first level with a bunch of new mechanics. First of which, pushing open these doors. These doors will slowly close themselves over time and you have to make it to them before they close. This one actually opens up a second door right here, and if you can make it to it in time, which you definitely can, it was not very hard, you get an electric shield. Gotta push it back open before you can leave. There's also these switches. These switches will keep the temple bright. Why does that matter? Well... I've just opened a pod filled with ghosts. Now, as the level darkens, ghosts will appear on the top of the screen, and if it darkens itself for too long, the ghosts will start attacking me. The ghosts are not that hard, definitely. They really don't cause huge issues for you. I'll show what it's like for them to attack you and how easily you can avoid them. But yeah, they're still a threat, and you need to keep hitting those switches to chase them off. Probably the worst part of the level is right here, this infinite sand slide. Here's how to do it. Once you slide down this way, or if this is the second layer, jump over to this one, the one with the swinging platform over to it. That'll get you out of there. Get away from me, ghost. I'm not ready to explain you yet. Or whatever. I've already explained them, though, basically how they work. Okay, pushed open a door. Now we need to jump up here and hit this rolling stone. This part's definitely a little tricky. Or this whole level is definitely a little tricky. It's very challenging. You have to do stuff like ride along this platform, hopefully hit that light switch as you go by, and then miss the trapeze, and then, oh, never mind, I have the electric shield, so it doesn't matter. If you don't have the electric shield there, you can't reach this platform, and you have to go, like, do a screen wrap up to the above area again. It's weird. Right up through here, and these two platforms. Wait for this thing to move itself out of the way, and make your way to this door before it closes. Oh, I thought I had the insta-shield. Well, now I have the insta-shield. Honestly, I'll take it. I'll take losing the electric shield, because now I have the insta-shield for those guys. You know, for the two others that exist in this whole level, there really aren't a lot of enemies in Sandopolis Act 2. The focus is really on the actual, like, set pieces and platforming. Good thing, I consider the set pieces and platforming to be one of the best parts of the level. It takes a total of 1 minute and 15 seconds from the time that you hit a switch to the time that the ghosts attack. So you have a lot of time to reach the next switch, though there are definitely parts of the level where you are in a bit of a drought from switches, like the rising sand parts here. Here we have to keep ahead of the sand while also using it to get ourselves up through these rooms. I really like that dual purpose. It's like a back and forth. It's both beneficial and harmful to you. I don't know, I really like these level concepts. I know that this level, you know, doesn't let you go as fast as other levels in this game, and that definitely is a minus for it. But I really like engaging with the sand and the ghosts and the things so much that I don't really care. I ignored that light switch on purpose because I would like to show what the level is like to play through fully darkness. Also, may as well pick this up. This makes you go faster for a short time and speeds up the music. As I mentioned earlier, I found the sped up music to be really funny as a kid, so I would always call the power up the funny shoe. Alright. Right now, the ghosts are still not harmful, but the level is at its darkest. Ooh, can I snatch this, snatch this, snatch this? I did it! I can't believe it! I actually got that! Okay, now the ghosts attack you. As you can see, they stop in place, then they fly down towards you. Once they start moving, they no longer scroll with the screen. If you jump into them, they disappear and then respawn at the top. They do respawn quite instantly, so they will be, like, swarming around you until you can next hit a light switch, but gotta say, they're really not that bad, guys. I definitely think that the criticisms for this level, at least the ones lately, aren't about the ghosts. They're about the, actual level design and the fact that you can't go quite as fast as people would want. And I get that. But For me, I just love this level too much. The actual mechanics themselves are great. It is a little too long, but, you know, when you're having so much fun, you don't care about a level being long. Unlike with me earlier in Carnival Night Act 2. I wasn't having very much fun with that level, so as a result... Oh, that's quick time. Oh, hi, how's it going? So as a result, that level felt a lot longer than it actually was. Then again, though, it did take me 6 minutes. I know that I get to get past these things if I want to go fast. I don't care about being faster. I mean, this level's slower than the others. You may as well embrace it, and then run out of time. That's a good thing to mention. Every Sonic level has a time limit of 10 minutes. If you can't beat the stage in 10 minutes, Sonic dies, and you have to restart the level from the beginning, as far as I can tell. Either that or you get sent back to the last checkpoint and your time is reset. I'm not completely sure what it is. I might actually get to the dark phase here. Never mind, I know where a switch is around here, and it takes 30 seconds from the first dimming to the second dimming. So I had plenty of time for that. Gotta jump up these platforms. Bounce off of that. I've always loved that little, like, bungee thing. And just like this, we're already almost towards the end of the level. Maybe it isn't quite all ready for some of you guys, but it's all ready for me. Ride this up. This is weird because normally that spawns a pile of rising sand, but here it just fills this part with sand so that you can make the jump. Sure, whatever. Weird subversion of a mechanic, but it's fine. And just like that, I think up there might be a special stage, but this is the end of the act. Fall down this hole, and we're at the boss. See, that wasn't so bad. If you play this level more than one time ever, the level can be like that for you too. This boss isn't too hard. In fact, okay, you know what? Let me let it go for a little while so that I can actually show its laser attack. I actually forgot what its laser attack does because I never see it. Hello? You want to use it again? it's so discouraged from using it. Okay, that's it. You can jump on this main hand in the foreground. The other hand is just for decoration. Cannot harm you either. Stay away from the spikes. Jump around it. Shed the skin a million times. Should be good. I know that it's slow. I know that it takes a little too long. I know that you can't be a speedy throughout it. And I know that the infinite slide at the beginning sucks. But I just can't help but love this level. For more information, I have that video uploaded that you can go check out. More information on my opinions, as if you want that. You know the game's near its end when the lava level comes out. Lava Reef Zone! Might just be my favorite zone in all of Sonic 3. I love this zone, man. It's so high energy. Just like Ice Cap Zone. Alright, just need to jump quickly, but not so quickly that you hit the fireballs. Grab the electric shield. I think we've seen every power-up in the game now, so I don't have to worry about missing anything. See that in the background there? That's the Death Egg. We found where the Death Egg crashed initially, though its face in the opening cutscene for Sonic and Knuckles definitely wasn't buried that far into the ground, but hey. Oh, the fire shield would be lovely to have in this level. I'm pretty sure there are fire shields eventually, and why wouldn't there be? Yep, here it is. We are now immune to all fireballs and lava going forwards. Alright, rev up as fast as you can to get down this level. I love it mainly because, I mean, it's high energy, really fast-paced, and it also looks gorgeous. I love the rocks, I love the shading on each one, I love the backdrop, I love that you can see the Death Egg in the backdrop, I also love this guy. That's rough, buddy. Must have been going through some hard times. Hey, nice ring count. Hard times, happiest day of my life, hard times, haha, anyway, Ice Cap reference. One thing I will say about Lava Reef Act 1, though. I believe there's a point later in this level where if you don't take the right path, if you don't take the correct path, you end up looping into an earlier point in the level, and you have to go through a section of the level again, and then get another try, and you have to keep doing that repeatedly until you find the right path forward. I know this because I had a lot of trouble when I was younger playing this game for the first time, finding my way through this level, and, you know, it took me forever to find out where I was supposed to go, so that part of it isn't my favorite thing, but aside from that, I mean, level's beautiful. There's a special stage ring down there, apparently. Sure, I'm sure you accessed that somehow. I'm afraid I'm not as informative where the special stage location are in this playthrough as I was in my first one, But hey, people have made like 50 bajillion all special stage location videos. Do I really need to add to the pile? Then again, like, what am I really adding to the pile here, aside from my own voice and personality and extra opinions on this game that some people might want to hear after my Sandopolis video? Anyway, I like these eye enemies. They look so bored as they're, like, trying to kill you. It's like, maybe they're like, wow, we got stuck with this really lousy attack. If you bump into the mist, it latches onto you and kind of hurts you over time in the same way those small fish from Hydrocity Act 1 do. I don't believe those ever appear in Act 2. So it is a little dangerous if you end up being hit by it, but, you know, not too bad. And if you just, like, rush forwards with the fire shield, it is literally no problem whatsoever. Down deeper we go. I think another reason why I love this level is because I have something of a thing for giant open caverns and lava. I really like underground levels in general. I've always been fascinated by caves and locations like the Nether in Minecraft that try to imagine what the mantle down in our Earth would look like. That kind of stuff really interests me, so I love levels with that theming. In other news, we're at the end, so let me tell you, or let me let you listen to, or actually, the fucking bonus stage! Hey, we got the gumball one. I think the bottom area there will disappear after a while, so we got to bounce that open. Got the electric shield, not sure that's gonna help. Got my fire shield back, I'm sure that's gonna help. Might just lose it immediately though. Got the bubble shield instead, that might not help. And you're falling. Thank you for the fire shield though. I will take it into this boss fight. While I fight this boss, have a listen to the unique music for mid-bosses or Act 1 bosses in Sonic 3 Lite, because it's actually different than the one you've been hearing. Personally, I don't dig it. I know that they were trying to reference Michael Jackson, but it sounds like it's from a completely different game. It doesn't fit the other tracks at all. I'll actually take the loss of my fire shield there. It's so much easier to hit those things with the insta-shield or the insta-attack range increasing. That thing needs a better name. Anyway, yeah. There's also a similar thing in Sonic 3. Knuckles' theme, the theme that plays when you have a Knuckles encounter, is also different. I'll play it for you here. I definitely like that one, but there's just a part of me that prefers the Sonic and Knuckles version. Anyway. Lava Reef Zone Act 2 is gorgeous. This is a big part of the reason why Lava Reef is my favorite zone in the game, I've decided. This level, like, I cannot believe this is a Genesis game I'm playing here. When I look at the visuals of Sonic 1 and 2, I can't believe this is on the same console as those. It's amazing, and it's only gonna look even better as we go. Those Eggman power-ups back there, by the way, they just damage you if you hit them. Don't touch them. And I love this music, too. Act 2 feels so different from Act 1. While Act 1 was a lot of high energy, definitely felt like a typical lava level, Act 2 changes it up a lot. Oh my god. That background. That fucking background is a masterpiece. I love these platforms that their bottoms are harmful, so you have to make a weird little maneuver in order to jump onto them. Oh my god, that looks so good. I don't know what's pulsating in the background there. Probably just more like, you know, heat and lava and shit, but I love it. This level is very slow, very calm. I think it is actually honestly similar to Sandopolis in that you can't really, like, go that fast throughout it. And, you know, just as how I didn't mind it with Sandopolis, I don't mind it here. In fact, I actually kind of like it here. It makes it feel like a very slow, calm before the storm to let you chill out before the end of the game comes right around the corner. Kind of like Slimy Spring Galaxy in Super Mario Galaxy 2. Yes, I'm comparing a retro game with a modern game. I know it's weird. It's just shush. Anyway, it's also kind of like Sky Chase Zone. Sky Chase Zone feels very peaceful. Gives you time to settle in before you enter the last few levels of that game. And this is Sonic 3's version of it, and oh my god, do I love it. I love the crystals that go from purple to green. I love that these guys have their color palette changed. I even like those weird, earlier in the level, there was those weird, like, spike ball things that launch out of the little pods they're in. I don't know what that's about. Yeah, this. This is probably the weirdest obstacle in this level, but I don't know. It's kind of quaint. Kind of adorable to me. Look at it trying its best. Yet it can't do a thing about it. I'm not going to take another bonus stage. I need to keep the atmosphere of this level going. God, it's so pretty. I love it. I feel like not enough time is spent in these outdoor sections, but I suppose if I saw this background the entire time, then I wouldn't really get as much time to appreciate it as much, would I? Or whatever people say to excuse not seeing something as much. Hello, Death Egg. I've come here to stop before you start. Stop you before you start. Oh god, you're always one step ahead of me, aren't you? If looks could kill, they'd melt you! I love that. There's Eggman. Yes, that's actually Eggman back there. You can barely see him in the shading, but that's Eggman piloting that thing. And now you have a little bit of a chase sequence here. Weirdly, you can't go any faster than the game allows. This is how the screen scrolls, and this is just how you have to take it. I lost my fire shield. That's okay. I can do without. Okay, we're still automatically scrolling for some reason, even though the threat's now gone. Not sure what we're automatically scrolling about anymore. Maybe this is just the easiest way to program this part. I'm not sure. Once the fourth platform hits, you are finally able to move freely again. Let's collect these rings. Go lower. Oh, hey, I got my fire shield back. Stand on this, and welcome to the worst part of Lava Reef Zone. I don't know what the opinions are on this boss. My opinion, it sucks. All you do, you cannot harm this boss directly. All you do is jump on the platforms, stay safe, as he hits himself with his own spiked ball projectiles, and you have to make sure not to be hit by them like me there. That's it. He then goes back into the lava, goes to the other side, does the same thing, except now you have to move to the right. Oh my god. What a twist. This is what I mean when I say that, like, Sonic 3 bosses that demand their own pace are really sucky in my opinion. Because wouldn't you think the best idea for a Sonic boss is to allow you to get in your own openings to defeat the boss quicker? In this case, I don't know of any way to defeat this boss quicker. It's really telling when you watch a tool-assisted speedrun of this game where they're otherwise doing crazy tricks and warping through the floor, and then they get to this boss when they have to stop doing that and take the game at its own merits, which is not something tool-assisted speedruns want to do. And for another thing, this boss just goes on for so long when it really doesn't need to. I guess it's challenging to stay on the platforms. Like, this is a pretty challenging boss. I remember struggling a lot with it, but like, you can't defeat it any faster than that, really, in a game where you're incentivized to go fast, you're being timed in every stage. I don't get that at all. I really don't get that boss design whatsoever. Definitely the worst part of the level. But Lava Reef Act 2 is too cool otherwise for me to care about it. I think that's the biggest ring bonus I've gotten so far. There we go. Into new realms unknown. Sorry, I just want to stop and appreciate this visual before we never see it again. Or well, I'll see it again in the future, and you guys might too. We found where it's located. It was an entirely different game the whole time. Where was Hidden Palace Zone, like, revealed with Sonic 2? Was it just, like, people found text saying Hidden Palace Zone in the files of Sonic 2? Probably. I like this level's aesthetics, though I definitely prefer Lava Reef Act 2's. Here's a little warp pad. Mystical warp past of the warp past of the pad, yep. The Death Egg looks like it's making progress. That's not a good sign. Oh, come on, buddy. I have a mission to get to. I have a death egg to stop. Okay. Knuckles is, I think it is worth noting, Knuckles is one of the Echidna tribe who reside on Angel Island. I thought he's the last survivor of the Echidna tribe. Their lore is expanded upon in Sonic Adventure, but, for this game, they're basically just guardians of the Sacred Master Emerald, or they were guardians before Knuckles is the only one left. And, well, recent events have made things tricky for the Echidna. Yes, Knuckles is an Echidna. It's kind of hard to tell from visuals, but that's what he is. You will not hurt my frenemy! Or you will. Eggman tricked Knuckles into thinking that Sonic and Tails were against him and going to try to steal the Master Emerald, when in reality, Eggman planned to steal the Master Emerald for himself. With this new revelation, Knuckles is now on our side as the guardian of the Master Emerald. Eggman has absconded with it. Let's chase after him! That's a bit of a problem. He's accelerated the launch with the help of the Master Emerald, or so I assume. Maybe he plans to use it for more stuff. Right here! If you crouch in this very specific spot next to Knuckles, he starts this shooing animation. Only way to get this to trigger. It is definitely meant to be here in this part. I'm wondering if it's a bug that it's supposed to automatically trigger if you wait here long enough, yet it only works if you crouch. Thank you to Cybershell for making a video about that. Sky Sanctuary Zone only has one act, a unique zone in this game for that reason, unless you count Hidden Palace as a full-length zone, which I do not personally. Sky Sanctuary definitely is to me, though. I like just standing on that platform and letting it take you to the other side. These guys attacking us are egg robos. They just fire straight ahead, jump over the laser, and hit them. They're not hard. I do like how one of them flies out of the background every single time you're about to encounter one. That's pretty cool. I love these clouds. I like this sound effect, too. It was used for clearing out the ghosts from Sandopolis Zone, and I've always really liked it. The whoop, the whoop. Anyway, in other news, we have a rehash. This is a recreation of the first boss from Sonic 1. Yet Eggman is not the one piloting it. Eggman decided that that's old news. He can let his other cohorts do, his other familiar-looking cohorts, recycle his old concepts for their own good, or something. I don't know what I was gonna say there. Either way, it didn't really work out too well for him. Maybe you can have a better plan later on. Upwards we go. I do really want to say, this game has a surprisingly good story. For, like, being told entirely through cutscenes, the fact that you can see, like, Knuckles realizing that he's been tricked by Eggman in that scene, and then he's, like, on your side now, and he helps you go chase after him. It's so cool. Like... The previous Sonic game's story was entirely just in the game manual, as was the standard for games at that time. I don't think there's anything over here. This place is just a big waste of time. Let's keep going. Maybe there's a special stage or something? Whatever. But, like, the tone here is so intense. You can feel the final level approaching. It's right around the corner. We have to stop... The Death Egg has taken launch, and we have to go stop it as soon as possible. It's a great... Oh my god. It's a great climactic feeling and accompanying a really good story. That's the best commentary I had for that point. Hope you enjoyed. If any of you have come here from that Sandopolis video, this is how my channel is normally. Now, he's stepped up his game a bit and is mimicking Metropolis's boss from Sonic 2. Except, we have the Insta-Shield, so we can just hit past all those eggs and spam him down to death now. Ordinarily, you'd transition back to the falling down thing you did once you pop one of those bubbles. But if you just insta-shield, you don't need to pop anything. It's great. Onward we go. Ever higher. Let this platform take me forwards. Is there anything else I wanted to talk about? Ah, yes. Another thing I really like about these old games, especially, well, the old Sonic games in particular, is what happens when you pause them. No, the video's not frozen. I just paused the game. This is what it's like to pause a Sonic game. Everything just freezes. No music, no text, no sound effects. Just the game screeches to a halt, and you're left there, staring at an unmoving screen. Accompanied by nothing but your own thoughts. Anyway, let's keep going. Whip. Up the whip cloud. I just simultaneously whipped a Nene! I don't know what that guy was talking about, but I'm sure it was cool, whatever he did in that weird little video. Can you stop hitting me? Oh no. Wait, I want rings. Wait, I want rings. I'm gonna backtrack for rings. 10 rings, that'll be good. Just don't be hit by this thing on the way back. You do? Delete your channel. Okay, good. No need to delete my channel. We're safe, everybody. Oh. I thought that was gonna be the boss. We still have a little bit more to go. Oh, got it? There we go. Climbing ever higher and higher. I love this feeling. A lot of games tend to end in the deepest depths of their worlds. Actually, no, I think even more games end in the highest heights of the world. But you know, yeah, shish. I love the feeling of climbing up a tower. Anyway, the dude finally fights us one-on-one instead of recycling Eggman's ideas. He is not Silver Sonic, not Metal Sonic, but Mecha Sonic. Yeah, Eggman resorted to the clone your arch nemesis technique 3 times in the classic games alone. I don't really know why. Anyway, when he lands here, he's clearly vulnerable. He does whatever he does in the air. If he lands facing the other way, he's about to zoom to the other side of the screen. Nope. Okay, he did it that one time, though. You can probably see it then. He's not very hard, especially compared to Silver Sonic and Sonic 2. Yeah, here. Feel free to get any hits on him during that time. That's it. And you know, you don't have to fight the final boss immediately afterwards with 0 rings. They learned. What an amazing atmosphere this is. Let me tell you about one of the most important things I think what I think is one of the most important things for a game to do. Have a good, strong finale. The reason why I think this is so important is because it makes for the lasting impression you have once the game is done. A bad finale can honestly sour my taste of a game once I'm done with it. Move! Okay, thank God we moved eventually. I'm sucking it up on this level so far. Sadly, though, especially back in the 90s, the finale is usually one of the last things developed in a game. Thus, it is usually prone to being unfinished as they need to meet the very tight deadlines. Sonic games were no exception to this. Sonic 1's finale was pretty good, but I think it definitely ruined things with, Scrap Brain Zone Act 3 being a reskin of the Labyrinth Zone. I know what they were trying to do with that level. They're trying to go like, ooh, cool. Look, it's these ancient ruins that Eggman's fortress is built on top of. Those things are so annoying. I have no idea how you're supposed to avoid them. Anyway. But otherwise, it's just kind of a bad final level in my opinion. Really annoying, a hell of a lot worse than Labyrinth Zone ever was. Sonic 2 then didn't really have a dedicated final level. It had Wing Fortress Zone, which did the job, but, you know, like, it was also really short, it got over in an instant, and then it was followed up by the insane ask of you to beat the final 2 bosses in a no damage run. What the fuck? Anyway. And then Sonic CD. While Metallic Madness is a pretty decent, okay level, it just never felt like that much of a climax to me. It gives the same vibes as Launch Base Zone in this game, where it's like, it's kind of lighthearted, didn't really feel like this is the end, and I really like that stuff out of final levels in games, so I have to say though, they absolutely nailed Sonic and Knuckles' conclusion. Everything from the Knuckles scene with Knuckles in Hidden Palace Zone, to Sky Sanctuary being the great penultimate stage, climbing up to chase after the Death Egg, and now we're on the Death Egg itself, and everything is so cool. Every little part of the level makes a machine noise, indicating that, like, this really is it. This is Eggman's ultimate lair. I love these parts where you have to ride these conveyor belts, dodging the stuff. The level design is really challenging, and, like, it feels so alien because now we're out in space. We're so far from home now, and everything is so unrecognizable to all the natural areas we've been going through up to this point. And then there's the background. It's subtle and kind of, like, hard to notice for a while, but the background never moves. And it gives the illusion that the space in the background is huge. You're in this massive area, traveling in the rim of it. Like, the Death Egg is massive, and I love how that's conveyed with the use of that simple background trick. I also love all the blinking lights during it. I love this level. What can I say? This used to be my favorite in the game for a long time, but then I decided Lava Reef is too cool. Alright, I like this little part where you have to bounce on these things. You have to enable all the 6 switches on both sides of this pod contraption in the center. Bounce off of them. There we go. Eventually we'll hit it. There we go. Go through this, the gravity switcher, get an extra life, and be stuck on the spikes there for half a second. I will say, some of the enemy placement in this level can be somewhat annoying. There's also those weird car things that take you through rings of light. I think it's usually best to avoid them, same with the Sandopolis, no, in this case you have to take this one. But yeah, you were literally not controlling Sonic at all as you use these. Cool to see though. I think, Sonic Rush references those in the, what's that level called? Not Deadline, it's called, it's the one before, no, it's not the one before Deadline. I can't remember what it's called. There's like a level that looks kind of similar to Death Egg, even though it's not the last level in Sonic Rush. All I can think of is Deadline and Altitude Limit, Leaf Storm, and all the earlier levels. There's also Night Carnival in that game, which is just Carnival Night but backwards. Gotta love it. Oh my god, we're already here at the boss. Wow. Sadly, true to the rest of the game, the bosses are my absolute least favorite part of this level, and I despise them. They're a main reason why I prefer Lava Reef Act 2. Because at least Lava Reef Act 1, or Lava Reef Zone, not Act 2 specifically. Because at least Lava Reef Act 1's boss wasn't so fucking annoying. I just like to wait, jump at it, hit it with the insta-shield once at a time. I just wait, just in case, because those things can clearly hit you, as they did to me earlier. Then Phase 2 begins. Yep, Phase 2 for an Act 1 boss, never been seen before. Ordinarily, it would be done by now, but no. I wish it were done by then, holy shit. This phase is just so annoying. It feels like there's no openings whatsoever to hit. And then it starts whipping the platforms out at light speed. I'm out of rings now. Okay. Normally that's worked. Normally crouching in that corner's worked. I hate this boss. I don't know what you're supposed to do against it. The platforms spin around him so fast. How are you supposed to get in between? I guess you're just supposed to avoid it? You know, avoid the boss and don't try to hit it in a Sonic game. That's exactly what everyone wants to do. I do really like how the eye follows you here. That's kind of cool. And it has so many sprites drawn for it for all the different angles. Impressive. I'll give it that. Okay. Last 2. I know I could probably sneak in hits here. I want to be careful. I don't want to lose my rings this early. There we go. It's another whole, like, 6 hits you have to give as well. Oh my god. Okay. Crouching in this corner renders you safe from the spinning platforms as far as I can tell. You have to be all the way in the corner, though. Then 1 hit, 2 hit, run to the other side. I think that's how I've approached this boss in the past, and it's ended up working. So I'm going to do that here. 1 hit, 2 hit. That works for me, I guess. I mean, I lived. I just didn't know where I was for the entire time. There we go. Sucky boss, but awesome level. Just... anything on that side of the room? No. I was hoping to find a ring box at least. Down there is our home. Let's keep it safe. The final level of Sonic 3 and Knuckles Death Egg Act 2. I love the switch up of the background, and similarly, this background doesn't move because, you know, the Earth is fucking huge. Why would the Earth move? This level introduces gravity. You can go upside down. You can also grab this electric shield. Fall into this, go this way. The upside down is just a visual change. Your controls do not invert or anything like that. It's just a little bit more disorienting and hard to get used to. I quite like it, though. It's a nice spin on the usual platforming this late in the game. Just gonna jump out of the way of that. Not too hard if you know what you're doing, or if you've played Geometry Dash before. Honestly, I think playing Geometry Dash has given me a lot of practice for platformers that turn you upside down. Alright, here we go. Oh, hold on, here we don't. There was spikes there. Bring it back to normal gravity. I love these, like, bridges that are essentially... They're these little molecules being shot so fast that they actually create a solid platform. I love that. Important thing to note with these things, when you jump on them, you change the direction that the conveyor belt goes. That made, not knowing that made this part of the level so much harder than it needed to be, let me tell you. Also, what is that black box right there following on the side of that thing? Probably just a leftover from, like, the graphics that they never caught in testing, because it is pretty subtle. In fact, I didn't notice it at all until very recently. Okay, down here we go. Literally, down here we go now. I guess down doesn't really apply anymore because we're in space. Now down is just whatever arbitrary gravity thing pulls you. I guess that would be true. Like, down is whatever points to the center of gravity. Like, the core of the Earth or the center of a centrifuge. That's what down is. Like, the true... Or at least is what should be what the true dictionary definition of down is. Alright, here we go. Here's me trying to propose, like, brand new definitions for official words that probably already have some that work just fine, and the definitions aren't needed. Well, I'd love to use all those rings. Oh, actually, I had a nice amount of rings then, so I didn't really need any more rings than that, honestly. I could have won the game with that amount of rings. It would have boosted my power and confidence going forward. Hey guys, what's 9 plus 10? It's my life counter. Yeah, not 21. Why would you answer for that with 21? You should have answered my life counter. Minus 2 points or whatever. Just, sitting here, watching this thing really spin Sonic all around. Is that machine, like, trying to make Sonic dizzy or something? Doesn't seem to be working too well. Back upside down with an electric shield, we should be able to... I thought you were able to walk along the electric hazards of this level no problem, but I don't think so anymore. Oh yeah, a final property of elemental shields that I can't show here because there's no water in this level. Both the fire and electric shields disappear when you go into water, and I believe the electric shield will spread electricity through the water for a brief zap that can hurt enemies on screen. Pretty cool. I like that attention to detail. Think we're near the end now? Indeed. Welcome to this annoying purple guy! Oh my god, William Afton, you cannot harm him directly. Instead, you need to wait until it releases those things, then hop into this thing, change your gravity, and then those things will change gravity with you and fall up into him, hurting the boss. And the boss never learns from this. I guess Eggman just forgot to program it the other way. This boss, not my favorite. It's really annoying, takes forever. If you end up missing a hit, you have to spend so long going back down through the tube and just takes forever, and I missed there too, goddammit. Alright, let me slow down and concentrate on getting the hits right. This should hit. Yes, it did. You can tell by the flashing of everything on screen. That is cool, you have like a global boss hit indicator. There we go. As usual, I don't believe you can beat it any faster than this. I mean, you could definitely have landed more of these. Excuse me! After a while, little cars on the ground explode on their own, and every time that they do so, as you're about to hit the boss with it, it is the most infuriating fucking thing in the world. Okay. That thing's about to explode, isn't it? Okay, no, it got it. Good. Okay. This should go. Good. Good. And then this should work. There we go. Still more hits. Thankfully, you're invincible when you're going through the thing. I'm just doing it now. Hopefully this will hit. Nope. Okay. There probably weren't any cars off the screen. Oh my god, okay, I'm gonna wait for a little while longer just so I have, okay. This should be good. No, it's not, damn it. I lost my electric shield too. From a straight projectile. Okay, this, no. God, this boss is so annoying. Are you kidding? That would have worked if you didn't explode, you stupid. Come on. I'm doing so bad now, come on. Come on. We got this, we got this, we got... Oh my god, Sonic 3 bosses, why are you like this? No! I just keep, like, going in. I need to slow down, I need to take my time. There, here, this will hit. There we go. Man, that was an annoying final boss, wasn't it? Good thing it wasn't. Eggman can outrun you for some reason, and get inside is a massive contraption for the real final fight. Or is it? Well, we'll have to see about that later. I do want to bring attention to this final boss music. It is awesome. Feels like you're fighting someone so powerful. It's so intense. I love it. Anyway, after we get done with this typical final boss design phase, he falls down in defeat. But as I just alluded to by saying phase, we're not done yet. This part can be a little tricky, especially if you die. You are given rings and thus multiple hits for this battle. However, if you die, you restart without any rings and you have to no damage the fight. Not my favorite thing, but at least they don't make you no damage the fight from the very beginning. This has a simple formula. Dodge that, wait for the flames, hit the nose, hit the gem. He's using the Master Emerald as a weapon against you. I really like that. If you manage to get the electric shield all the way here, you can hit the Master Emerald twice very safely by just simply double jumping out of the way of the laser. I don't trust myself enough to do that though. Maybe I can go for one. Maybe I can go for one. I will go for one. Or I didn't go for one. At this point, I'm gonna defeat the boss before I can. I probably could have gone for it there. All right, if this next hit doesn't... What? What? What the fuck? What the fuck? I jumped a little too far, so I fell off the edge. Oh my god. I didn't fail at the boss fight. I fell at the staying on the fucking platform. That's why Sonic games can be so annoying. The instant deaths never feel good, because it's just like, especially when they come out of nowhere like that. Starting this phase again, not gonna cut up to where I was, because may as well. I mean, I did want to capture the spirit of not editing the original video at all. And now I really do have to no damage this. You can safely spin dash this, but I would advise against doing that if you're up against a wall. That can cause you to hit the wall, thus come out of ball form, and then take a hit from the fingers. It's not a great idea. Here we go again. This time, oh god, do I? No, I have 0 rings. I was going to go for it last time because I had more than one hit. Here, I don't have more than one hit, so... Okay, good. God, those... Without the electric shield, those jumps feel so... so hard to time. It's intense for sure. I really like this. Okay. There we go. 2 again. Jump. You might be able to duck underneath it. I don't really want to try. But it's possible. I mean, there is a little bit of space down there, but I feel like since I'm always on the move, me pressing duck is more than likely going to get me to roll, and you have a larger hitbox when you're rolling compared to just ducking and not moving. Okay. We're getting there, we're getting there, we're doing it. I guess you could say his nostrils were flared. Had to get one more pun in as he falls. Not quite the end of the fight, though. Eggman, makes one last-ditch effort to run away with the Master Emerald. You can still mess up here if you fall into the pit. I would know because I did on my first playthrough, and yes, it was the most frustrating thing in the world. Oh god. I had to restart from the beginning of Death Egg Act 1 one of these times. The timer has frozen though, so the game is like considering itself to be in a post-game state when it isn't. That's that! Well, that was sure an ending, but certainly not the best way that could have gone. In order to get the good ending of this game, you have to collect the 7 Chaos Emeralds by finishing the special stages. I know that I didn't do that, because I'm a chicken and I don't want to try hard things, but let's just pretend that I did. What happens is immediately after that fight ends, you are sent into a new level to continue it, because no, the battle is not over. This is the Doomsday Zone. You take control of Supersonic flying through the air. Use the D-pad to move him around. You can also press the buttons to make him go faster in whatever direction you're going, to make it boost a little bit. Supersonic consumes rings, as you can see in the corner. 1 ring for every second. If you run out of rings, normally you just exit Superform. In this case, though, it means you lose all momentum and can no longer keep up with Eggman, so you lose the level. There are missiles coming at you. Supersonic is invincible, but being hit by one will stun him like so. I didn't even intend to be hit by that one. That wasn't a demonstration. I was just perfectly timed. These meteorites will also stun him, but less so. You can still power your way through them. Now listen to this amazing music. God, it's so intense. It feels like the world's about to end and you're stopping it. I mean, well, you know, it isn't the true Doomsday, but anyway. This part, gotta guide the missiles into his head. Do this quickly. You get no rings through this entire part. Whatever ring count you have upon entering, that's how many seconds you have to live. Okay, guide into his head. It can be very wonky hitboxes. This is an old game after all. Okay, all these things just knock you back, all the little pellets at the side. I'm gonna take this way. Get the head. You do need to, like, gain speed, stay ahead in order to stay ahead of the head. Ha ha ha. Damn it. Okay. 44 seconds. I think it just needs, like, 1 or 2 more hits. This part can be really hard. Okay. Okay, there we go. Goes down. Does take a long time to go down, though, so you don't have as much time as you might think you have. I think it takes, like, 15 seconds to go down, so that's 15 rings lost. But it has shed its outer shell and has revealed another form. This thing's Eggman still hasn't fighted him yet. From this point on, you will be receiving a steady supply of rings, but definitely not very much. Not a lot will happen unless you go forwards. That will get the guy to appear on screen. But my recommendation is press the buttons to boost. If you try to go the normal speed all the way up to him, you're gonna have a really, really bad time at this level. Okay, I'm sorry, obligatory reference. I had to. I played through that game on this channel. It's a law that I must reference Undertale at any point. But yeah, it takes forever to get up to him, and it'll constantly shoot you away with those little egg missiles he has. He's firing them out, and they fly backwards in those weird patterns, and you're like, oh, any hit by them stops you. Okay, there we go. Let's hit number 2. If you find yourself low on rings, hang back a bit, replenish based on the stores you're given, and you should be good. Okay. Charge! Oh, wow, that was good. Okay, if you spam the buttons, you go really, really fast. Charge! That is really good, actually. You can go all the way up to him before he even shoots anything. That's so nice. Maybe we should be doing that. You know what? Fuck the timer. I can beat this guy in 20 seconds. Let's go! That's the game! And that is Sonic 3 and Knuckles. A great game with great levels and such a nice and simple formula that I would love to see return someday. Just being able to go through the game in a short 2-hour sitting and having all the stages connect together in the way that they do, I would love to see another game with this formula in the modern day. The only game that I know of that's like that is Sonic Mania. I don't know about Superstars. But I've basically already given my thoughts about the whole game, so instead, I just want to mention how much fun it has been to make YouTube videos. The time between when I first sat down to make that very first video of Sonic 3, all the way up until now has been an adventure. And I have made an unbelievable amount of progress since then. Looking at those old videos is kind of funny because I really haven't changed that much in terms of personality or humor. The main difference in my content now is the aura of confidence that I bring to every little thing. And that just happens naturally as you get more and more used to recording these videos. But yeah, since the old simple days, I have played a huge variety of games, and nowadays, I even live stream, which was just a dream of mine back then. I'm sure if me from 5 years ago knew about the tiny amount of progress I made in terms of view counts and subscribers, he'd probably be a little disappointed. But in the end, I just make these videos for fun. I don't care if they get viewed or not. It's just really nice being able to play a game, put it out there, and share it with others, even if it never gets seen. To every single person who has watched one of my videos or live streams, even if you didn't stick around very long, I thank you. I thank you deeply. Every single little view means a ton, and has been my main motivation for keeping on going strong all these years. With videos, that is. And life, I guess. Now, as these credits draw to a close, join me after they end for a couple of final bonus topics. Before I wrap up this video just yet, there are a couple of final topics I would like to cover, including some that I've forgotten. I was meaning to bring this up in the video, but an interesting little fact about the levels in this game. And also, this has something to do with this game being split into two halves, basically. In Sonic 3 Lite, there is a level select cheat that is notoriously hard to activate. The one in Sonic 3 Knuckles is so much easier to activate. You grab on one of the vines in Angel Island and you just press left, 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 right, 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 up, 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 and there you go. That's it. But for Sonic 3's, you have to do this incredibly long code in a really small time frame. And I think it made hard to get to intentionally, because that actually reveals some early things about the game. It shows some of the Sonic and Knuckles stages, and there's some interesting facts we can get from it. Mushroom Hill was originally going to be called Mushroom Valley Zone. I actually kind of prefer that name. I think it would have fit better, but I decided to stick with Mushroom Hill, since Sonic 3 Complete allows you to use that name instead if you want. Secondly, Flying Battery was originally supposed to be between Carnival Night and Ice Cap Zone. Again, Sonic 3 Complete lets you make the level order that way if you want to. I played like that once, and it's fine. I believe the end of Mushroom Hill is replaced with like a whirlwind that takes you to Sandopolis instead of taking the Flying Battery over there. Those are the main two factoids to know from this. I don't know what happens if you select those choices in that level select, because I haven't played Sonic 3 Lite before. That's honestly kind of all I wanted to go over. Oh yeah, okay, there's one other thing. There are other playable characters in this game. You can play with both Sonic and Tails, in which Tails follows you around. In Sonic 3 Complete and other modern re-releases of the game, you can actually, like, fly around with Tails by inputting a certain set of buttons, though in the original Sonic 3 Knuckles, you can't, I don't believe. However, you can play as Tails himself. Tails has the ability to fly for a certain amount of time by, again, pressing jump while in midair after a first jump. You can also play as Knuckles, who has the ability to glide, climb walls, but can't jump as high. In fact, Tails' campaign is basically just Sonic's, but you can fly instead. But Knuckles has a totally different campaign. And by totally different, I mean it doesn't even go into Death Egg Zone levels of difference. You stop at Sky Sanctuary Zone and he has his own final boss. It's pretty cool. I don't think I'm gonna play it though, unless there's a bunch of demand for it, which you never know, there might be. There's a non-zero chance that this video gets viewed, so I have to be prepared for people wanting me to play as Knuckles in this game. In Sonic 3 Lite, you could only play as either Sonic or Tails, or both. Knuckles, the ability to play as Knuckles didn't come until Sonic and Knuckles, and in that game you couldn't play as Tails, only Sonic or Knuckles. But with Sonic 3 Knuckles, play as any of them. In fact, you can even play as Knuckles first if you want, though I don't think that's the recommended way to experience the game. For me personally though, I've always chose Sonic because, and the crucial reason why I've always choose Sonic, there's a delete button all the way over here by the way, Sonic is the only character who can use the Elemental Shield's powers, and it feels so wrong not having those on any other character. I just can't get around it. I can't get my head around it, around not having the Elemental Shield powers as the other characters, so I can never get used to that. Since there's no way to go back to the menu, I think I have to soft reset. Sonic 3 Lite also has its own title screen theme. I'll play that for you here. To go 3 for 3 on not really being a fan of Sonic 3 Lite's music, original music that didn't carry over into Sonic 3 and Knuckles, I've always found that one to be really grating to me, and I prefer the Sonic and Knuckles menu theme myself. For my last topic, and to end this video, I want to briefly enter competition mode, because I feel like most Sonic 3 playthroughs wouldn't come in here. Let's see, Grand Prix time attack is I think what I want. This is basically just a race with another player, or it is a time attack by yourself on a bunch of custom stages that were not in the base game. And you know what, I may as well, if there's ability, can I go back? Alright, fine, we're Sonic, whatever. Azure Lake, Balloon Park, Chrome Gadget, Desert Palace, and Endless Mine. I like that how they go A, B, C, D, E, that's really cool. These are unique stages, they're not very long, they're also not very detailed, not as great looking as the main stages, but, you know, it's a fun little side mode. And they all each have their own music tracks to go with them. To close this video, I would like you to listen to the music track for Endless Mine. While you do so, thank you for watching, if you did, and as always, I will see you all in the future.